The 2026 NFL win totals came out last week. We broke down the North and South divisions. We had some good plays. I'll list the favorite plays that we had last week in a bit. We're going to tackle the East and West divisions this week. Can't wait until we get into this because we had some really good plays last week. Hopefully we find even better ones this week, and we'll see what happens. But before we get into it, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, I'm wearing something for the merch store. It's just a classic royal blue Walter football t-shirt. I actually forgot I had this. It's kind of rummaging through my drawers looking for my jeans last week. I'm like, oh, wow, I forgot I had this color t-shirt. So you can get that as well as everything else at the merch store here. We have a 15% off sale right now. And you might be like, where is this blue? It's really cool blue shirt. I don't see it. Well, you can go into any shirt. You can change the colors. You can even get a hoodie, long sleeve t-shirt, long sleeve shirt, I guess I should say, women's tank top, infant onesie. There's some other options too. And then we have our mugs. We have a mouse pad. We have playing cards. We have baby bibs if you're interested. We have blankets now. We added a lot of stuff. We're adding some more stuff too. So you can also go to Amazon, buy my books. The most recent one is Jerks of the College Years, where I made fun of all these glorious people on the screen, on the book cover, I should say. And then my first book is The Safety and a Field Goal, which is a top 5 topic book about the NFL. And then finally, of course, Super Chat, Super Stickers is the best way to support the show. I'll say it all the time. It's Q1. Q1 stinks for ad revenue. So if you guys really want to help us out, and we've had some great super chatters, most recently Kevin Kovac, Can't Make an Eagle, the boss, Dom, you guys have been so great with the contributions. Thank you so much. All right, we're joined by Andy Iskoe from thelogicalapproach.com, which I will put on the screen here in a second. Andy, how are you? How's your non-football weekend, the first of many?
Yeah, the first of many. No, it was nice. Got a chance to relax, watch the hockey, the men's and the women's gold medals. That was kind of fun, and learned a lot more about curling. So that was also educational. How many chapters are you up to now in the book on bad beats? I know you texted me at one point where you had written 4,000 words, and I think you hadn't even gotten to the start of the regular season.
I know. So I'm currently on another NBA chapter. I'm at let's see, I'm at 4,400 words. Just got with my daughter sick and some other things, just didn't get a chance. But actually, just I started a chapter on Warriors plus 10.5 at Timberwolves. Game 5 of the Western Conference divisional round, or second round, I should say, from last year. So we're gonna
now,
make it to the
how many games? Soon. How many games is that in total that you have written up?
All right, I'll mention which one. So the first one was Rams at Eagles. Eagles -7 in the playoffs, where Jake Elliott.
That was a snow game. Yeah, that was a snow game.
Yeah, Jake Elliott missed
playoffs.
Yeah, Jake Elliott missed 2 extra points, one before the snow, and then the Rams kicker who kicks indoors didn't miss any extra points. The next game was Timberwolves -3.5 at the Mavericks on January 22nd, so it's 3 days after that. It was a near half-court shot by Kyrie Irving to cover the spread at the buzzer. So it was like pretty brutal. The third game.
Now, by the way, what makes that a bad beat? Now, this was with Dallas, right? They came back to beat Minnesota. Okay.
No,
now,
it was that... so Timberwolves were favored by 3.5. The Timberwolves were up by 4 with 3 seconds left. Dallas inbounded the ball. Irving took a prayer from half court, and it went in.
To me now, there isn't. I'm going to say, to me, that's not a bad beat. That's a tough beat, because people are always trying shots and occasionally they hit. A bad beat would be if Minnesota was covering the spread for like the last 3 quarters of the game, and at the final buzzer was the only time when they weren't covering. That's a bad beat.
Well, they were at the midway point of the fourth quarter. They were up 9. So Dallas did come back a little bit as well. It was 111, 102.
I still say that that's a tough beat, because things like that happen. I mean, not every time, but they happen. Now, what might make it a bad beat, for example, is if the play before, if there had been a turnover, where Dallas turned the ball over instead of getting that last shot off, but if there was a turnover and then they went to the video review and they reversed it, and that allowed Dallas to take that last shot. That's a bad beat, because theoretically the game's over when they call the turnover. Okay, go home safely. Now they review it, and then At that point, you're standing in line to cash your Minnesota ticket. And then
Well,
it's
I,
ruled not a turnover.
I'd say it's a tough beat if it was just like a regular three at the buzzer, but this was like
Yeah.
from half court. Like you don't see half
Hey,
court shots go in.
kids make that on ESPN every Saturday morning for not every Saturday. They make it. College kids make it for 19,000, and they're not or $19,000, and they're not even basketball players.
That's true.
I mean, yes, I understand the percentage is extremely low, but it's not it's like we talked about the game that you're going to get to at some point in the book, that game between Tennessee and Arizona. That was a bad beat because there were a number of extremely low probability things that had to go a certain way, and they all did.
Yeah.
Okay. As opposed to one very low probability thing that is extremely unlikely, but not unprecedented. I mean, I don't know how maybe you could check it up just to see, and I might change my mind if you can tell me that the number of half-court shots that determine the point spread or the outcome of a game in the final second, there are 25 of those a season. That's way too many. If you say it happens once every 3 seasons, that's a bad beat.
Okay. I mean
that's just my definition, because there are a lot of podcasts, there are a lot of people who have websites, and they box themselves into a corner by coming up with the bad beat of the night or the bad beat of the day. And there aren't always bad beats. So you take something that's maybe, well, this team was down by 11 with 10 minutes to go, and they ended up losing the game. Okay, bad beat, for example, was and again, I would say it's probably a tough beat because, again, teams don't necessarily stop playing. But who was it last week that was a double-digit favorite and they lost by double digits? It was one of the bigger games in college basketball.
I wouldn't know.
I think it was the UConn Creighton game.
Okay.
Where UConn was like a 10.5 point favorite and they lost by like 11 or something at UConn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I would necessarily call that a bad beat. It's just a bad game for UConn and bad for UConn bettors. But it was these things happen from time to time, rare though they might be.
How many half court shots do you think happen in the NBA each year? Just looked it up.
Each season, okay. No. I would say 15.
11. There are 11 on average per season. And this one just happened to be at the buzzer to decide the spread. I don't know. It's like, like each team plays 82 games, and then
there's 1,230 games played,
right,
overall in a regular season. So 10% would be 12.3.
Right. So it's
I'm sorry. 1% would be
1%. It's 1%. Yeah. It just happened to be the 1% to decide the spread at the very end. I don't know. It just stunk.
I would not argue if you included it as a bad beat as opposed to a tough beat, but I could also argue that it might be a separate category of could be a bad beat, could be a tough beat, depending upon your definition. If you have a strict definition of bad beats, it might not qualify. If you have a more inclusive definition of bad beats, it would qualify.
Okay, it's like the hillbilly cousin of bad beat, I guess. I don't know.
Something like that.
The next one, it's the January 24th. So just 2 days later, Pelicans plus 11.5 at the Grizzlies, and also Trey Murphy over 22.5 points. So this was ridiculous. So like I said, Pelicans were 11.5 point underdogs. At halftime, they were up. They were winning 71-62. So they're up 9.
They're up by 9. So they were covering or pushing by 20.
Yeah, right. So
they were covering by 19, pushing at 20. Yeah,
right. In the third quarter, Memphis hit I think 7 3-pointers in that quarter. They averaged 3.4 threes per quarter. Per quarter during the season. They happened to hit 7. So
3.4 per quarter during the season, which works out to 6.8, which works out to 13 for a game. So 7 in one quarter is a bit unusual, but not necessarily. Now if they were 7 for 7 and didn't miss any, that's a little bit different. But
Right.
okay.
So they led 105-100 heading into the fourth quarter. So New Orleans still covering at that point. But
Well, you're saying they led by 5, so they were covering
yeah,
by 6. What'd you say? It was 11 and a half.
yeah, 11 and a half. Yeah.
So they were covering by 16 and a half entering the fourth quarter.
No, sorry. Now Memphis is up 105-100 entering the fourth quarter. So they're only covering by 6 points at that point.
Oh,
Or
this was
7
who
points at
now?
that
This
point.
was who? The
The
Pelicans?
favorite. Yeah, Memphis, the favorite, is
Okay.
winning 105-100 because of all the threes entering the fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, and who are they playing?
New Orleans, the Pelicans.
New Orleans. Okay, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
right. So from being up by what'd you say?
9 at halftime.
9
It's
at
actually 11.
halftime.
It's actually 11 with like 9 minutes, 3 minutes into the third quarter. So they
Okay.
had a double digit lead as double digit underdogs. And
Okay, yeah.
suddenly,
Okay.
yeah. So they were down 5 entering the fourth quarter, and then Memphis just couldn't stop scoring in the fourth quarter, and eventually the game came to 135-118 Memphis. Right, and then the Pelicans.
Memphis was now covering by 5.5. What'd you say? 17 and a half.
It's 17. So they were covering by 5.5.
Okay.
They're covering by 5.5. And at 135-118 with like 2:30 left, the Pelicans pulled their starters, and so I trade, like I said before, I trade Murphy over 22.5 points, and he leaves the game. So
and the Pelicans were no longer covering.
They're no longer covering, right?
And they pull their players.
Right. And then the Pelicans hit a couple of threes, and suddenly it was 137-126. They were covering again with a minute left.
Did they put the players back in?
No, they didn't. Okay. And then Memphis, they hit a shot with like 10 seconds left or something to go up 13. And then New Orleans has a chance to score, right? The backups are in. You think the backups will want to score?
It's now a 14-point game.
It's 13-point game.
13
so
points, okay.
So a 2-point field goal covers.
Right.
And then, like I said, the Pelicans backups have a chance to score because they seldom play. Why won't they want to score with 10 seconds left?
No. If they seldom have a chance to play, that's probably why they won't score.
Sure. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Or they'd be playing more.
That's fair. But they would at least want to have a chance to score, right? Because they don't really get to play. But no, they dribble it out and then the game's over.
Well, again, to me, that again, if you are strict, I tend to be more strict about bad beats because they should be very, very uncommon compared to tough beats. Mm-hmm. And so if you believe that, well, yeah, to me it's a tough beat. I wouldn't say a bad beat because they're trying their back. They had a big lead and everything, but it comes down to the end of the game. They had an opportunity. Well, not every shot goes in that you have an opportunity on, and instead of covering by 1, you failed to cover by 1. Now the fact that they were covering if they were covering by 11 points, let's say, with 4 minutes to go or 3 minutes to go, that might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Especially, let's put it this way, if they were up by 5 points with 4 minutes to go, straight up, that would qualify as a bad beat because you got to be outscored by 16 points or something like that in the if they're up by 6 and they're getting 11, they got to be outscored by 18 points to not cover the spread in 3 minutes. That's very difficult. I'll tell you a game like that. I got I was on the right side, but it turned out to be the fortunate side. The other day, it was a Saturday college basketball game. I believe it was the first of the big games, Houston and Arizona. And I think we may have talked about it on the show. I don't remember because I did a number of shows last week, but we talked more college basketball now. And that was the game. That was the day when it was Duke against Michigan late and Arizona against Houston early. And I remember talking about it, and I don't know if it was this show or another show I did before the game was played on Saturday. I said, well, if I can get between 141 and 143, I'll look to play under in that game. Okay. It started out as a high-scoring game. The total was 141 and a half. Okay. And they were over that pace, I believe, at halftime, or maybe just closer. But the first 4 or 5 minutes were very, very high scoring. Ultimately, because these were like the two of the 4 top defenses in the country, okay, Arizona and Houston. It turns out, I think, with about 4 minutes to go, the score is 62-50 or 60-52. Okay. So that they're at 112 points with 4 minutes to go. If they score 7 points a minute, They score 28, and they're at 140, which is still under 141 and a half. Okay. They scored 27, I believe it was. The game landed, I believe it landed 139 and a half. I want to say it was, 73-66 or something like that. So it was fortunate. Okay. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, Andy disappeared. There we go. Andy's back. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. But and anyway, that I called whatever the. It's a combination of both. That's a bad. It's a bad beat if you had the under. It's a bad beat if you had. It's a bad beat if you had the. I see. I'm trying to make it both ways because it really could have been a bad beat both ways. Okay, if the game went over, it's a bad beat if you had the under because you were a huge favorite when the score is 60-52, 112, with 4 minutes to go. Even if, a high scoring minute is when you score, or an average even for a few minutes, is if you score 5 points. If the teams average 5 points a minute, that's a 200-point game. Yeah. If you average 4 points a minute, that's a 160-point game. If you average 3.5 points a minute, that's 120 points game. They started off with a very high total. Okay. So I guess what I'm saying is if that game had gone over, if they had gotten 3 more points and the game lands 152 instead of 142 instead of 139, it's a bad beat if you had the under, even though early in the game it was on a very high pace. But see, that's like so many games. It's like if you're down 24-0 at halftime, and then, or you're down 24-0 in a football game at halftime, and then you come back and you take, a 31-24 lead with 4 minutes to go in the game, and the other team comes back and gets a touchdown, scores by 2, and they win 32-31. You could argue either way on that one, but I tend to. That's a bad beat if you're down 24-0 and then you're up 31-24.
Yeah.
Late in the game.
Yeah. With the college basketball,
it's an interesting, yeah.
With the college basketball, isn't there just a lot more scoring at the end in the close games because they foul so much?
Yes, but not that much.
I don't know. In high profile games, I know Evan loves just lie betting the overs in these highly competitive.
Yeah, but it depends how much, how far are you away from the closing total with like 4 minutes to go, which is kind of like the last time out, barring continuation of play.
Yeah.
And if you are more than 10% below the total, or I'm going to even make it more. You're 20% below the total for the game. What the opening total was. Okay. So if the total was, I'll say 140. Okay. So 20% of 140 is 28, which happens to be 112, which was exactly the number of points. So if you're down by, if the score is staying under by 20% or more with 4 minutes to go, you're a huge favorite for that game to stay under, even with all the fouling.
Yeah.
And again, remember, you still have the team that's trailing still has to make their shots to narrow the deficit for the fouling to continue.
Yeah. I wonder what the live total would have been. I don't know the answer, but was that what it was? Like the trailing team just hit every shot, I guess, and then the winning team just hit every free throw?
I wasn't watching it all the time totally. I was just following it with on the scores because I was watching something else at the time. I think I may have been watching the Olympics, as a matter of fact. It was the middle of the afternoon at some event or something. But it was just because it was an 8-point game and the final ended up 6. But I don't remember how close it got. Maybe it never got closer than. Maybe it got down to 3 once. I don't think so. I could go back and check.
Okay.
I'm going to go see it. In fact, I'm going to try and see if we do that now. Because I think I can call up on the Don Best screen. I think I can call up the archives of the second half of that game and find out what the in-game total was with about 4 minutes to go.
Okay. All right. Well, that game I thought was definitely a bad beat. The Pelicans game. I mean, you have a double digit underdogs winning by
Yeah,
double digits in the third quarter. You'd think they'd at least cover the spread. Maybe not like they wouldn't win outright, but they would at least cover the spread. And then Murphy gets benched. Like it was
yeah.
a close game the whole time, and then he gets benched 2.5 minutes left, and
Well,
then they
you
still had
could
a
you
chance
could
to
you
cover.
could argue that it's a bad beat because the team that was covering the entire game,
Yeah.
okay, all of a sudden they're in danger. They were still covering when they pulled the players, correct?
No, not at that point. They were covering with like 6 minutes left, and then they weren't anymore.
What were they covering when they pulled the players?
No, no, no.
But
It's, well,
they couldn't have been not covering by much then.
yeah, they were down for the spread. They were down by 6. So 7. It's actually, yeah, it was 17. The margin was 17, and the line was 11.5. So really 5.5 points. And then, like I said, Murphy needed just one more point, and they pulled him.
So when they pulled the players, it was what they were down by what 6?
7. Sorry, 17. It's 135, 118.
Okay. That's when they pulled the players.
Yeah.
So at that point, 135. Yeah, at that point they were not covering by what 6.5. I think you said
The 5.5. Yeah.
5.5, 6, whatever it was. I'm going with the line of 17.5.
Okay.
So that was 6.5. They weren't covering by if they were down by 11.
Okay.
They needed to. They couldn't push. They needed to score the final
6 points.
Yeah, they needed to get they needed to lose by 11 or less.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So and like I said, they had a chance to score at the end, but they decided to just dribble it out. I've never seen from backups before. Usually backups just try to go nuts because they never get a chance to play. But apparently they didn't need to score. So that was ridiculous.
So I guess I could say that indeed that it's a I guess a pace related bad beat.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. And then we had the Valspar Championship, which I told you about last week. Justin Thomas, 3-stroke lead with 3 to go, and then he hits the ball into the trees, and then the dirt, and then
was he leading the tournament the whole way? Was he leading the tournament? Was he leading the 4th round the whole way?
He was leading the 4th round the whole way. He's leading most of the tournament. Maybe not like the first day, but
what was his biggest lead at any point?
I think he was a 4 or 5 strokes. I think at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, but 3 up, 3 to go. He figured,
Well, okay. So whoever was in second, and it could have been a tie, was you mentioned Hummel, right? Was 3 shots back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway,
now see, there again, golfers come back. We saw that the other day in the Riviera tournament, where the kid Jacob, I forget his last name, was up by like 7 points, 7 shots, entering the back 9, or maybe. Well, he didn't have a birdie after the 3rd hole, but he was at the 7th. I think he started the day with maybe a 6-shot lead.
Mm-hmm.
It's different if how Justin Thomas blew the lead.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he hit the ball.
He
hit the balls into the trees. He almost like decapitated a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he, in the next shot, he hit the ball into the sand, and then he hit the ball in the hole. And then by the end of it, he had double bogey, and Hovland hit a birdie, and they were tied.
So they were tied after the 16th hole.
16, and then 8. They're tied after 17 as well, and then 18. Once again, Thomas hits the ball into the sand, and he bogeyed, I think. Hovland parts to win.
Yeah. See, I'd put that in the tough beat.
Yeah. I mean,
again, because I want bad beats to really stand out.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I think I've told the story before. I had the opposite of a bad beat on the first bet I made in Vegas, where I had made a bet on the under, I think it was 40 and a half or something, on the Cincinnati Minnesota game.
Okay.
And I think the score was like 34-6 at halftime, and it was a scoreless second half.
Oh right, yeah, you were telling
That's
me
a
about that.
miracle. That's a miracle win, which is exactly the opposite of a excruciating bad beat.
Yeah, you would think that
So
everything is scoreless.
actually, maybe that's what you could do. You could call them an EBB or a BB or an RB, a rough
Okay.
beat, a bad beat, or an excruciatingly bad beat.
We could rate them. Actually,
What
I
you
keep track of.
what you have described, I would classify as, if we're going to use a system, a bad beat.
Yeah. So in this book, I'm also keeping track of how much money I lost on these, and also the potential winnings I squandered.
Right.
So for example, like in
You mean
the
that was stolen from you?
yeah,
Yeah.
for regular games, it's usually going to be about the same, with the vig factored in. But
Yeah.
for the Valspar with Justin Thomas, I lost $100, but winning squandered was $2,000.
Yeah. 20 to 1.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping track of that as well. The next one was Nuggets at the Clippers. Clippers -6.5. So the Clippers are up in this game. What was the score? They were up 85-71 in the third quarter. It was they
What'd you
were
say? 85-71 by 14?
85-7. Yeah, 85-7. Yeah, they're up
After
14.
three quarters.
Yeah, and then they were up 8 to 11 for most of the fourth quarter,
And what was
and
the
then
line?
6.5. So
They were 6.5-point favorites.
yeah. So the Clippers, in fact, they were up by 9 with 147 left. The Nuggets hit some shots. Okay, so it was suddenly a
See,
5
by
point.
the way, at that point, if it's a 9-point lead with the minute
Yeah.
46, that's still a toss-up game.
Sure, for the spread, right? So here's the thing. Kawhi Leonard gets fouled. The Clippers are at 5, and he's an 86% free throw shooter for his
Right.
career. So he's favored to hit both. He misses the second, and then so it's a 6-point game.
So they're up by 6. Okay.
6-point game. The Nuggets go down. They miss a shot. And James Harden gets the ball. Someone gets a rebound. They pass it to James Harden with about 10. This is about like 10 seconds left, I think. He's also an 86% free throw shooter. I'm like,
Now
okay.
this is the Clippers laying 6, up 6.
Laying 6.5, up 6.
Oh, okay.
And so Harden gets the ball, and there's like 8 to 10 seconds left, and he's dribbling, and the Nuggets just start walking toward the bench, and I'm like, guys, what are you doing? It's a two possession game. Like, they could have fouled him, maybe had a chance if he missed both. All you had to do is hit one. He's an 86.3% free throw shooter in his career. No, he just dribbled it out for 10 seconds. Nuggets just like, screw this, we're out. And so the Nuggets, they covered the spread by half a point because they.
Yeah, see, I would not call that a bad beat. It's a tough beat.
I don't know.
Because what happens if they foul him immediately, like they normally would if you're going to foul, and they say there was 10 seconds left?
Yeah, there's like 8 to 10 seconds left. By the time they foul him, maybe it's like 5 to 6 seconds.
So let's say Harden makes 1 or 2.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now they're up by 8.
Mm-hmm.
And Denver inbounds the ball, and
with no timeouts.
With no timeouts, they inbound the ball, and the Clippers just basically play a laid-back defense until they get to like half court, and somebody on Denver gets an open, uncontested shot, whether it be from 2 or 3. Well, it could be even for 2, which would still put the game at 2. So it's kind of like it's a tough beat, but it's not a bad beat because if they were fouling with 8 seconds to go or 10 seconds to go, they still had a shot to cover the spread. Even if Harden made both shots.
Yeah.
I mean, now, and you could figure that if they didn't foul, okay, that was almost a suggestion to Harden or to whoever, just dribble it out because we're not going to foul, and if by our saying we're not going to foul, we're not going to try and prolong the game with a 3-pointer if you make 1 or 2 of your shots.
Yeah, you think that was their out. If he misses both, they can try a quick 3 and then try to get a steal. And
but I think well, if they try and get a steal, they probably foul.
I mean, we saw Reggie Miller did it. I know it's very rare, but he did it against the Knicks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and it wasn't, they weren't 0% to win, to lose, or 0% to win, like
They were 0.0001, I would say. 1 in 1,000.
one
I'm
of
sorry,
that.
1 in 10,000.
I don't know. Well, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
Harden would have
Well,
to miss both, which is like,
you're down by 6,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you're down by 6, and Harden misses what? Both? What happened? Or he missed the first and didn't get the second, or
No, they were 5. Leonard hit 1 of 2, which
okay,
in
Leonard hit 1
itself
of
is
2.
yeah, right.
Okay,
So, and then Harden had the ball. They decided not to foul him, and
because Denver had no timeouts left.
Yeah, they had no timeouts.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I still say that's a tough beat.
The odds of Harden hitting 1 foul shot out of 2 was 98.1%.
As an 86% foul shooter.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's that high.
No, it's that high.
How do you get to 98? What did you say? 98.6?
Yeah. To hit
how do you
at
get
least
90?
one.
At least one.
At least one, because the odds of him missing both are 1.9%.
Let me see that. Okay, I'll tell you what they are the way I figured out anyway. What's his exact percentage?
86.3.
Okay, so it's 13.7. Okay, wait a second. 0.137 times 0.137. Yeah, 1.9%. That's the odds of him missing both. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And what happened on he missed what? He missed Harden. Okay, right, it's Harden we're talking about.
Yeah, they didn't foul him.
They didn't foul him. Okay.
They just walked toward the bench, like 8 seconds left. They're just like
so there was a good chance they were going to go up 8.
Or 7, yeah. Whatever.
Oh, right. Leonard missed the one shot, right? Well, I thought you said they were. What were they?
They were
4?
There were 5. There were 5. Leonard missed 1, so they're only up 6. Even though he's
so he made the first and missed the second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they're up by 5. So they would be up by 7, and Denver having the ball, and you wonder why Denver would foul and then just dribble it out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Denver was they were down 6, and it's 2-possession game. If there was 7,
they would have been down 6, yeah. But what I'm saying is,
they were down.
If they were down 5, okay, yeah, it went from 5 to 6. Okay, they're down 6. If they decided not to foul, the chances are that they were not that they were content to just let the game end and not prolong it. Because obviously if they fouled and Harden made 0, 1, or 2, Denver's going to, with no timeouts left.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, with 10 seconds to go. Well, again, if you're fouling, you're going to foul it quick. And my initial thought was going to be, if he makes 1, miss the second one on purpose, which takes an additional few seconds off the clock for Denver to try and go down and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that might have been the same thing. Now, yeah, the odds are that under normal situations, there's a 1.9% chance that Harden is going to miss both, unless he's deliberately trying to miss the second shot.
Right. But if he misses the first, he's going to try to hit the second.
Probably, but not necessarily, because again, Denver has no timeouts. So they could set things up, on the court without time running off the clock. But if the ball is inbounded, they have to instantaneously, make a decision where to throw to. They're going to take a second for a guy to take a step or two or to set himself. And let's say he makes a long 3-point shot. The game is probably going to be down, let's say 8, maybe 4 seconds to go.
Yeah.
And they're down by, let's say 5. Because Harden made okay. Let's say they're down by 6. Okay, they probably, if they're down by 6 and they make the shot, now they're down by 3.
Yeah,
and they will either just, and at that point there's probably 4 seconds left in the game, and realistically, they may foul and hope that whoever's on the foul line misses, because first of all they're going to have to inbound the ball. So say a half second goes off. Even if the guy makes 2, they're now going from up 3 to up 5.
Right.
and the game's over.
Yeah, which is, I mean, you have to either hope for no free throw shots to be made or get the steal like Reggie Miller did in that one game. So,
Yeah.
it's possible. It's not very likely, but it
I will
is
change
not
it. I will
0%.
change my percentages now to 0.00001.
Are you making
So that's
worse?
one in a
Worse
hundred,
things?
100,000. Yeah.
I don't think it's 1 in 100,000. That's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. I don't know.
I'll see if you can Google how many times a team has trailed by, what was it, 5 points or 6 points,
6 points.
and gone on to win by 7 or more. No,
Team.
let's say a team up by 6 points exactly, with 10 seconds remaining. Opponent has no timeouts, and the team up 6 wins by 7 or more. Because that would take into account a foul and successful free throw attempts, and no, and an attempted shot at the end that misses, or no foul. They may, it could very well be that if Harden makes those 2 shots, and they're up by 8.
I don't think this is going to give us the right result. I don't know. It seems like I feel like they would not know where to find this data. Yeah, no such occurrences are tracked in a single database. The 2025 playoffs demonstrate how rare comebacks from high deficit. We're not even talking about the comebacks.
Yeah, that's a different question.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. I keep track of every college basketball game played. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I Googled AI just to make sure of my numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, I'm not going to say, okay, blah, blah, blah. Through February 24th, 2026 season in college basketball, men's Division I, how many games have been played involving at least one, if not both, teams in Division I? Came back and it said 5,319 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Or maybe they were down, maybe it was close to whatever it really was. Okay. I say, okay, blah, blah, blah. According to my numbers, there have been 5,353 games played thus far through February 24th, 2026. Google goes, oh, you are correct. I apologize. There are 5,353 games that have been played in Division I through February 24th, 2026. And again, I'll illustrate the point. If you didn't know that, if I didn't know that, I would take what AI said as gospel.
Sure.
And I'd be wrong. But I would swear to it that I'm right. Because I checked online with AI, and AI has access to all these facts, and, it can't be wrong.
No. It's
and I can't believe that in the entire universe of 8 billion people that I'm the only one who asked that question today. I can't believe that's the case.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not very accurate. I think I told you I asked it to make a mock draft for me last year, just 2025 NFL mock draft, and remember the Michigan cornerback Will Johnson.
Right.
So with one pick it had Will Johnson, and then like 20 picks later it had Willie Johnson, again cornerback from Michigan. I'm like,
right.
Am I crazy? I'm like, is there a Willie Johnson that I'm not aware of? Like, so I had to look on the roster. There's not, and I wrote back. I'm like, you have Will Johnson and Willie Johnson, even though they're the same players. And it replied, I'm sorry for the typo. I'm like, it's not a typo. Just
a mistake.
Right. It's a mistake.
Normally they come back and say, yes, you are correct. We mistakenly said Willie and Will Johnson are the same. Or they could have come back and said, thank you for spotting this out. Willie Johnson was a cornerback for Colorado. Will Johnson was a cornerback for Michigan. We apologize for the mistake. But the point is that had you not known that, okay, like let's say you were some staff writer writing for one of the mock drafts, okay, and your assignment is to why don't you research every quarterback that is available, at least that is expected to be in the first 3 rounds of the draft or first 2 rounds of the draft. And they come back with something like that, and the guy has no idea because he's not sharp like you. Okay, he doesn't live and breathe it, whatever. And he goes out there And let's say the people running the podcast are not in-depth reviewers of the draft, that they rely on others. Yeah, they have some basic guys. We know who the top 10 is. We know who the top 3 quarterbacks are. But we're not going to know a guy who's, pick number 73 or something, as well as we know the top 5 at each position, let's say. So you wouldn't know that, and you'd look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, only people like you would realize it. But that doesn't change the fact that the guy's wrong.
Right. Yeah, it's it does. It's pretty terrible. And then it did redo the mock draft for me, and it was better this time. Actually, there were no mistakes. Actually, this for some reason the second time it quoted random analysts. It found from Google, maybe I guess Google, and it like for one of the write-ups it says Walter from WalterFootball.com says like okay, thanks for quoting me there.
Thanks for the plug. Yeah.
Right. To make up for the Willie Johnson,
especially since they put the .com in there.
Right. Yeah. They quoted a bunch of other analysts too.
I'll ask you a more interesting question to I think our viewers and listeners.
Okay.
How many players of the first round did your mock draft have correct? Not in the correct order, but how many? What was it? 32 first rounders. How many did your mock draft have in the first round, and how many did the AI draft have?
So when we grade our mock drafts, we grade every pick that's correct, not how many of the players end up going in the first round.
So in other words, if you picked a couple of years ago, if you picked Caleb Williams as number 1, you'd call that correct. If you picked Caleb Williams number 2, you would call that incorrect.
That's incorrect. Yeah, unless
what?
Unless we say the player to the team. So, for example, if we have a player to team X and the X moves up 5 spots for that player, we count that as correct.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not where he went, but where the team he went to in the draft. Okay.
Right. And conversely, if like we had him to player X to team Y and team Y is drafting 17 and then team Y moves out of that spot and another team drafts him at 17, we don't count that as correct.
Okay. But what I think people would also be interested in is how many players did you correctly forecast for the first round, and then a second subset of that, of the players you forecast for the first round, how many did you get as far as either the position and or the team?
I mean, we usually do pretty well with the players to the team, but as far as the players like in the first round, we never graded that, so I'm not sure.
It's not that, but I mean, it's not that difficult. You can only, as long as you can count up to 32, you're fine.
Yeah.
But I would think that people who, and it's more important now, especially if you want to get some good business out of the draft, if you had that information, people could take a look and say, hey, Walter Football, he had 28 of the 32 first rounders picked in the correct first round. And of those 28 that he correctly picked, he had 17 of them going to either the right team or the right spot.
Well, we do grade the players to the team, and that's what we sell ourselves on. Yeah. And there are other publications that do that as well. For example, I'll put it on the screen here. Fantasy Pros, they grade mock draft accuracy, and here we go.
And how do they define accuracy? That's the question I always had. I always need to know for whether it makes sense to me, the context.
So it says players awarded for predicting each player's draft slot versus their actual draft slot. Then there's player ranks, points awarded for correctly predicting each player's draft rank within their position. And then points awarded for correctly predicting the position each team would select. And then points earned for correctly predicting which team would draft each player. So they factor in all 4 of these things, and then they average them together. And Charlie Campbell is number 1. I was number 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would
So
imagine that you mirrored Charlie quite a bit, not 100%, but probably very
yeah.
close.
Well, if on the inside info that Charlie has, yes.
Yeah,
If it was not the inside info, it's just a guess.
yeah,
Then no, I would just make my own
yeah.
guess.
No,
Here's the AI mock draft. So it had Commanders Willie Johnson and
yeah.
Will Johnson was a little bit earlier here. So 17. Will Johnson goes 17 and 29, and
Now,
so
by the way, who did the grading of that? What you mentioned, I think, who did the grading of all the draft nicks?
fantasypros.com. They're a pretty big site.
Okay, did they also grade that an AI mock draft?
No, they didn't.
Not necessarily that one, but whatever one they decided to use.
I don't
If
think they
any.
did. No,
Yeah.
no, they didn't.
Yeah.
No. And Walt got to show those Twitter bots who's most accurate predicting mocks. Yeah, every time someone gets in an argument with me on Twitter, they're like, your mocks suck. I'm like, well, Fantasy Pros has us 1 and 2, so take it up with them.
Yeah.
I just
Now
love
that's
being
from
able
last
to do
year.
that.
How have you done in previous years?
We've been at the top the whole time. I've personally kept track of this myself.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, what,
here.
like top 5 the last 5 years, every year, something like that?
Yeah, this is dating back to it's coming on the screen here. This is how far is this? Let's see. This goes pretty way back. Over the last 9 years, how many players have gone to the right team? Charlie's hit an 85. I've hit 75. Daniel Jeremiah 69. Jacob Kamaker, who was our previous Tuesday.
Okay, so
guest,
this is the number of players in the first round who went to the predicted team, regardless of when they went to that team.
Yeah.
So you had how many? Now you had 85 players in the last 9 years. So that's
Charlie had 85. I had 75.
That's about 9. That's about 9.5, and you had about 8 1/3. Yeah. And then who was next amongst the nationally known?
Daniel Jeremiah from NFL Network.
And how many did he have?
69.
Okay, so that's between 7.5 and 8. Yeah. That's pretty good out of 32. I mean, yeah. Charlie, what would you say? 85.
85. Yeah, he's the best.
That's 9.5. So that's better than that's about 27, 28%. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, he's the best.
Yeah.
So and you have you would think that Mel Kiper would be higher, but Mel Kiper, where is he? Not to crap on Kiper, but see, he's only at 38.
Well, he's probably credited with being amongst the first, if not the first, to bring widespread attention to it through his work on ESPN. And it goes back like 25, 30 years.
Yeah, he's a legend in the industry, of course.
He either wrote the book or wrote the forward to the next book.
He did. I don't think our site would be as popular if it wasn't. Yeah, I don't think our site would be as popular if it wasn't for him. Yeah. So, yeah. I bet the NFL
Charlie
doesn't allow you
ever.
Go ahead.
No, I'm reading that. I was going to say, keep that up there. But I was going to say, has Charlie ever, and I wouldn't want you to reveal it, but has Charlie ever confided in you of the 85 players that he correctly picked with the right teams? Has he confided in you how much of that was based upon accurate information or truthful information that insiders gave to him versus doing work on his own?
Yeah, he tells me, he's like, Team X will take this player if he's available. In fact, he once told me a few years ago when the Falcons took Bijan Robinson, he even told me, he's like, don't put Bijan Robinson to the Falcons until the day of the draft. Just because that was such a highly guarded secret,
and that would affect the betting odds most likely.
And also
depending on how much people trusted you, and what was that, 2 years ago?
Yeah,
based on your track record for the
2023
draft. Okay, well, so based on your track record for the first 6 years of it, people might have relied on saying, hey, this Walter guy and what's Walter and Charlie guy are good. All of a sudden, they got Bijan Robinson. Everybody else is talking about him as a second-round choice or a late first-round choice or whatever it was. That could be betting. But I guess where I'm headed here is that if Charlie's had 85 correct player-team associations in the first round over the last 9 years, I'd say probably 2/3 of those, if not higher, were from quote unquote inside information.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, he knows who a lot of the teams are going to take. In fact, the odds show that we do for the draft.
He also knows who he can trust.
Yeah, and that was part of it. Why he said don't put Bijan to the
Yeah.
Falcons, because he didn't want his source to get pissed off, because the source said just wait on this until the last second. And in fact,
Yeah.
when the Falcons drafted Michael Penix,
What was the last second? 5 minutes before the draft?
no, I mean the day of, the morning of, was fine enough.
Okay.
But no, with Michael Penix,
Where was he projected to go? Bijan Robinson.
Top 10,
By
12.
most.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was going to be low high to high mid first round.
Yeah,
10 to 15.
It was still like
7 to 12,
an era.
like that, yeah.
It was still like an era where a lot of people were like, "Oh, their running back can't go top 10." You know.
Yeah. So after they picked Penix,
yeah.
you were going to say.
So for the Penix draft, which was 24, so Charlie texted me. It was like, I want to say 6:30, 6:45 p.m. So like an hour 15 before the draft. Charlie texted me and he's like, the Falcons are taking Penix. And so it was too late to put this in our mock drafts, because our final mock draft submitted at 3:00. But I wrote up in the live draft log. I'm like, Charlie's like, don't say it as you know, it's coming from the source or anything, but he's like, but I'm like, I'm gonna say to people to bet it. And I'm like, so in the
by the way, that's why I phrased my question to you without to ask you not to reveal who Charlie got good information from, just that he did get. In other words, I was expecting you to say, well, of the 85 picks that he got right, the person he spoke with gave him the information correct of those 85 on 38 of them without identifying it, because I wouldn't want his ability to get that information.
Yeah, of course.
To hurt him, and that's why I was kind of hoping you wouldn't mention specific examples.
Yeah, well, I mean, the GMs come and go, and the scouts come and go. So it's pretty.
Well, they've got a new GM in Atlanta now, right?
Yeah, so that's why I'm okay.
In other words, if Atlanta had not made a change, people could say, "Oh, let's take a look at who Walter Football puts up there going to Atlanta in the first round if they had a pick, and go bet on it, an hour or 90 minutes before the draft." That's irrelevant now, because the contact is different.
Yeah, and it wasn't necessarily even the GM. I'm just saying that, like, it's a different front office now, so it's safe now. Right, so it's safe now. I mean, like, the people are gone, and it was I don't even know who it was, but it was someone high up.
Yeah, that's why I phrased it that I don't care who it was in the organization, but it was someone in the organization now, because see, now my thought would be, even now, did the Atlanta GM who was fired, did he catch on anywhere?
But it wasn't the GM necessarily, so I didn't even know. I don't even know.
It might have been someone below him who went with him wherever he's at. That's all.
Yeah, I honestly don't know who it was. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, the point was, Charlie texted me. He's like Penix probably going to the Falcons, and so I put it in the draft log. I'm like, I'm gonna bet Michael Penix to go to the Falcons. And he was 28-1 to do that, which is
now. Was this in game?
No, it was an hour. It was an hour before the draft, or so. Which is I couldn't even bet what I wanted to bet, because the like FanDuel, DraftKings, etc. They don't even allow draft prop betting, because like when I want to make my draft prop bets, I have to go to New Jersey to do it. On the sports books, but there are offshore books that do allow it. So, but they have limits, which sucks. Yeah. And so
in other words, you couldn't bet as much as you wanted to, but you were able to bet as much as you were allowed to.
Yeah. Right. It was only like $50 limit or $25 limit or something. Yeah. So I'd asked my friend, it was like, who lives in Boston. I was like, hey, can you bet this for me? And so we did that. So that was nice, at least. But
I hope he got a nice commission.
Well, he got the info, so he bet it himself. So that was the commission.
That's good enough.
Yeah. If we're talking draft, I have a feeling Jeremiah Love's going to New Orleans. I could see it. Charlie actually
Yeah.
posted an article today saying that the Saints really like Jeremiah Love. So that's it's a little early. These teams don't have their draft boards finalized.
No, they haven't even finished the combine.
Sure, right.
Which I don't think is worth all that much, except for a rare handful of players.
No, it's more for the medical stuff.
Yeah,
guys fail their medicals and stuff.
And people love to read numbers. 4.3 in the 40 or something.
Oh, Al Davis was famous for that. Like he loved taking those fast 40 guys. I remember Darius.
Apparently, so is Woody. Woody Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's the Madden rating guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The Madden's not out yet for 2027. And speaking of combine, I bet the NFL doesn't allow you to combine because they know you and Charlie have a near 100% hit rate. Well, that's the thing. Like Charlie gets the best info around the combine, not like in the combine. Because like in the combine, all you do is ask. All the media does ask players like, "Oh, who'd you talk to today?" And they're like, "Oh, I talked to the Jets and the Giants."
So they can come out and say that the Jets and the Giants expressed interest.
Right.
That's all. Yeah.
Right. Like they talk to every team. Now not like a formal meeting necessarily, but they'll talk to someone from every team at the combine or
as you explained to me last week, Charlie doesn't need to be allowed into the combine to get his information.
No, the best way to gather information is out of the combine where the people go after
you've bought the first 2 rounds for the guy you're interested in talking to.
Absolutely. People love to talk like when they're a little buzzed. Yeah, it's people love it. So that's
because if it was the other way around and he got a lot of contacts, he said, "You know what, Walt, I do really good with my socializing with the guys. But I've also gotten a lot of really good tips by sitting down there and talking to guys as they're going through the combine workout and things. I would think that the NFL would love to have somebody have a high percentage of getting the draft correct, because that brings more eyeballs to the draft, knowing that there's someone out here who's a really good expert. Like that they'd like to know that you're the Mel Kiper from 1992 or something."
Yeah, I guess I feel the same way. I mean, Goodell does not like us. It's because I called him a douchebag one time. I don't know. If I were good, look, I have much thicker skin than Goodell. Like if I were in Goodell's shoes and Goodell were in my shoes, and like he said something like that, I would actually like invite him, to the NFL headquarters.
Yeah.
To kind of like as an olive branch first of all, and second, see if I can get you on my side, and
which in the case you were banned, he never could.
Right.
Get you to his side.
Sure. Right. I don't know if he called me for a meeting, I was like, I'd go see what he had to say. Yeah, of course. So I don't know. It's this guy is just the thinnest skin imaginable. I don't.
Well, the one thing that's really interesting. I could suggest that he agrees with you, or he would have sued you for defamation.
I guess.
Well, and why would he sue? Why would he sue someone like you for defamation?
Yeah,
because it would cost you thousands of dollars that you don't have to defend yourself for. Well, whereas for Goodell, the legal costs are a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, that's true, but it would give me a lot of publicity. It put a lot of eyeballs.
Yeah, that's true.
Site.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, you'd be on the headline on the network news on some night when the suit was dismissed.
Oh yeah. I people would interview me for sure. Yeah.
Well, and I would think that he probably couldn't, because he's probably considered a I don't know what they call a celebrity person, or some a known person who is exempt from those kind of lawsuits, or successful lawsuits. They can always be sued. Or they could always defend a sue and be, but successful lawsuits for defamation rarely get.
It's harder for public figures to win a case like that, for sure. And it's not even like I didn't even call him like something factual. It was like it's an opinion too. Douchebag's an opinion, I think, unless like unless he thinks I would call him like a literal douchebag.
Well, I was going to. Douchebag is a connotation, a negative connotation, even though it's a figurative term.
Yeah, but isn't that an opinion though? Like he's a douchebag, like
no. If you said I think he might be, that's an opinion. You said it as fact. He is such and such. That's I mean, it's very interesting. It's all linguistics. What is an opinion? And
Yeah.
in other words, what's the difference between you stating something that people say that, well, that's an opinion, as opposed to it's a fact. It's kind of like freedom of speech. Okay, freedom of speech says you shall not freedom of speech shall not be abridged. Blah 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 blah. There are no exceptions in there. In other words, there's no exception that says you will, no, you shall not be deprived the right to freedom of speech, except if you're in a theater and you cry and you scream out fire.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a terrible. I was going to say it's not a terrible example. It's a flaw that, if you take a literal meaning of the Constitution, there is no exception. It's like you have the right to bear arms. There are no exclusions in there, okay? Because a lot of the arms that people would want to bear hadn't been invented there. You have the right to bear arms, except you cannot have a torpedo or a tank. Okay, that's clear. But if they don't allow for exceptions in there,
Yeah.
which is also impossible, because you're talking about people 300, 250 years ago, who could have no idea of what the advances in weaponry, technology, etc. Could. So they really couldn't create any exceptions in there, unless they put in some sort of phrase that says, except in such situations as the Congress decides by unanimous vote should apply. You make it. In other words,
Yeah.
it would take almost some sort of constitutional amendment, which is almost impossible these days to get that kind of unanimity. But if they said, you know what, if there's something that we in the Constitution have overlooked and we want it to be really part of the Constitution, then instead of going through the whole procedure with the 75% of the states, it would take 100. It would take a unanimous vote of the House of Representatives and the Senate in two successive congressional sections. The one that runs, for example, 2025 through 2027, which is the first session, and then 2027 to 2029, which is the second session, because that would allow for, if you got the first one unanimous, there are going to be changes in the composition of the legislature because of midterm elections, special elections for death or resignations or booting out or whatever. Then they could do that. But the point is that there are a lot of things that we understand what they mean, but they're not clearly defined in the Constitution. And carrying it further, as far as what is an opinion, I mean, when you say the sky is blue, is that an opinion or is that a fact? I'd say 99.999% of the people say that's a fact, because we have defined blue as the color of the sky. Someone out there might say, well, that's an opinion because I'm colorblind and I see so and so, something. So that's where I'm saying that, is it a fact or is it an opinion? I would strictly, according to the words of the definition of a fact, which would be interesting. In fact, I'm going to do my one little thing here, and I'm going to say, okay, Google, what is the dictionary definition of the word fact? F-A-C-T. Come on.
Doesn't know.
No, I think I had the Wi-Fi off.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Okay, Google. What is the dictionary definition of the word fact? F-A-C-T.
A fact is something that is known or proven to be true. It refers to a piece of information used as evidence or a reality that exists regardless of opinion. Would you like me to find some examples of how facts differ from opinions?
Okay, Google, no.
Yeah, can you ask it if Roger Goodell is a douchebag? Would that be a fact or opinion?
Okay, Google. If someone says that a person is quote unquote a douchebag, is that a fact or an opinion?
That is an opinion. Calling someone a douchebag is a subjective value judgment based on personal feelings rather than verifiable, objective evidence. Would you like me to help you find a more professional way to describe that person's behavior?
Okay, Google. No, I think Walt did it perfectly. Thank you. Yeah. So in other words, it's generally considered it says that it is not a fact, that it is an opinion, because it's not a literal I guess because it's not a literal thing, or it's something
Mhm.
that cannot be proven or disproven, or something like that,
Yeah,
for you to equal that term. So
yeah, it sounded like an opinion, yeah, because yeah, like you said, it can't be proven. So, um,
yeah.
yeah, if I called him, I don't know, I don't get sued, but it's something like bad, but that could be proven, via like if his emails are hacked or something,
Yeah.
then and that would be a fact. But I mean, yeah, douchebag is just an opinion,
If you accused him of, I don't know, adultery or something,
Sure, right, that would be a fact.
well, it's an opinion of an accusation. I guess that's an opinion because it's not been determined.
I think if I were to say he seems like the kind of guy who'd cheat on his wife, I think that's an opinion. But if
That's
I came
definitely an
out,
opinion. Yeah.
yeah, but if I came out and said Goodell cheated on his wife, then that would be a fact.
Um.
You can
See,
ask. You can ask
I
AI.
no, no, no. My interpretation would be is that although it could be a fact, it remains an opinion until it is proven to be a fact, unless or until it is proven to be a fact.
It could just be an incorrect fact. Incorrect facts doesn't make sense. But
Oh,
like,
that's just like Google today. Incorrect facts.
right? Um,
Yeah.
no. If I don't know if I said the sky is green, for example, and it was
Right.
blue, that's an incorrect statement, but it's not an opinion. It's just like I'm just wrong,
Yeah, it's incorrect.
right? So I think
I'm
that would
going
kind
to
of
ask
be
the
the same
question
thing.
this way.
Okay.
Okay, Google. If a person is colorblind and he says the sky is blue, but he sees green, is the person who says the sky is blue, is that a fact or an opinion when he's seeing green instead of blue?
It's confusing, Google.
This is a
Google's
classic philosophical and scientific riddle that plays with how we define truth. To get straight to the point, the statement, the sky is blue, remains a fact, even if the person's internal perception, what they see in their mind, looks like what you or I call green. Here is why that distinction matters. 1. Objective fact, the physics. From a scientific standpoint, the color of the sky is determined by Rayleigh scattering. When sunlight enters Earth's atmosphere, it strikes gas molecules and scatters in all directions. Blue light travels in shorter, smaller waves and is scattered more than other colors. This is an objective, measurable event involving specific wavelengths of light, roughly
WalterScience.com.
450 to 485 nanometers.
Mm-hmm.
Is in the blue wavelength spectrum. The statement, the sky is blue, is a fact based on physical reality. 2. Subjective perception, the experience. The part where the person sees green is called qualia, the individual instances of subjective conscious experience. The label. Even if a colorblind person's brain processes that wavelength to look like a grassy color, they have been taught since birth that the color of the sky is called blue. The mismatch. Their internal experience is green, but their external communication is blue. If they say the sky is blue, they are stating a fact about the world. If they say the sky looks green to me, they are stating a fact about their own biological condition. 3. Fact versus opinion. An opinion is a preference or a value judgment, e.g., the blue sky is beautiful. Whether the sky is blue is not up for debate based on preference. It is a matter of measurement. Colorblindness doesn't change the wavelength of the light. It only changes the receiver, the eye/brain. Analogy. If a thermometer is broken and reads 20 degrees Celsius when it is actually 30 degrees Celsius, the fact of the temperature doesn't change just because the tool measuring it is calibrated differently. Summary table.
I think that said it perfectly.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, so it's just an incorrect statement, but it's still
So
a
Roger
factual
Goodell
statement.
keeps his sex life to himself. We'll never know.
Right. Hopefully. I don't want to know.
Yeah. No, but it's important to know the difference between fact and opinion when it comes to evaluating the draft in this example. As far as there are a lot of people who have opinions, and those opinions might ultimately become facts if they're correct. If they are not correct, they remain opinions, and shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Right. I will say this about Goodell. Remember that the COVID draft when he was in his basement.
Oh yeah.
So there was something. So I only noticed like the small things. there was a jar of there's a big jar of M&Ms on his desk, and it was like, if I had to guess, like 500 M&Ms. There's so many M&Ms in this jar, and then the next day, so
And don't
day
tell
2
me
of the
you
draft,
counted them between each commercial break.
I should have. The next
Oh,
day,
only 477.
right. The next day, like the Friday of the draft, like the jar was empty. They're all gone. I was like,
Oh.
where'd they go? Where'd they go?
Because somebody in marketing said, Roger, they're not paying. M&M is not paying us for commercial time. Get the thing out of there.
That's true. That's true.
As opposed to going to M&M and saying, hey guys, did you watch the draft last night? Roger had this jar of M&Ms. How about paying us a little fee and a little marketing fee, and we'll display it again tonight.
Okay, I thought it was a weird thing. We ate all the M&Ms, but I think your explanation makes more sense.
Well, from a business standpoint, it would. I mean, and I'm sure.
Yeah.
And let me put it this way: I have no idea what the answer is. I would not be surprised if it had something to do with marketing and free advertising. It's kind of like it's kind of like Coca-Cola now paying for their presence in movies when it comes to a scene of drinking a beverage. It's the same thing.
Yeah, there's actually a show called Chuck where I talked about this last week actually with the guys on Thursday. They were so blatant with their advertising. It was like almost it was actually comical. Where the main character would go into this guy's office. His name is Big Mike. And
there's a show called Chuck you're talking about.
Yeah, a show called Chuck. It was on. I was on like 15 years ago. So he would go into Big Mike's office and be like, "Hey," that was his boss. He'd be like, "Hey, Big Mike, I need so and so." He's like, "Wait a second, I'm enjoying this juicy teriyaki sandwich from Subway." And he would just eat it. It was so blatant. It was like they did it obviously did it on purpose, just to be funny. But
well, it worked for 15 seasons, and apparently for 16 seasons, the producer says, "Let's just chuck it."
Yeah, right. That was a great show.
Sounds like it was. Yeah,
it was awesome. Walt saw something about Clint Kubiak saying he wants to run a running back by committee with Genty from the sleeper. Did you hear anything about this? I did not.
I did not either. I did not, but I wasn't. I didn't get a chance to take a look or take a hear of the local news today.
If that's true, then that pick looks even dumber. Because if you spend the top 6 pick on a running back, you better feed him,
Well, you better have the line for him to be productive.
Right. That's
you could add Barry Sanders behind that line.
Yep.
And he wouldn't be Barry Sanders.
Yeah, you have to avoid people in the backfield on average. It's just you can't run an offense that way. And I saw that my Giants were interested in Jeremiah Love. No idea why. I don't get that either. I mean, look, they could. The report from Charlie was saying that the Giants really like Jeremiah Love, but that doesn't mean that they're going to draft him. I mean, they have Camp Scatabo. Why would they draft him?
No, and it could also position themselves for a trade for someone who can use a Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Caleb Downs.
Now by the way, that doesn't mean that the Giants can't have 2 featured backs. I mean, look at Chicago, look at Detroit. There are a number of teams. When you can split that workload and have a minimal difference in efficiency, come the month of December, that's a good position to be in.
That's true. Yeah, but if you're going to spend the number 5 overall pick on that when you already have a good running back, I think that would be a mistake. So Caleb Downs, I think, is where the Giants should go. Speaking of the Giants, we have the NFC East and AFC East and the 2 Western divisions as well to talk about win totals. You want to get to that now?
Yeah, I think we've taken up enough time with our lexicography and grammar lesson today.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, where are we?
By the way, if Roger Goodell is listening, I love you, Roger. I remember your days as a ball boy for the New York Jets in Shea Stadium. Which is true.
So Andy's not going to be.
And I also liked your father, Charles, who was for a brief time senator from New York State.
Chuck Goodell.
Charles Goodell. In fact, I don't have it now, but I will get it. I have a Senator Goodell pin.
Oh, really?
In the old days, it used to be great because when they would have elections, they'd set up trailers in like shopping center parking lots. There'd be a Republican trailer, and there'd be a Democratic trailer, and you could go there. And I'm like in junior high school at the time, and I would go there, and they'd give you literature, campaign literature, that you could pass out or give to your parents or whatever, and they'd give you like a little lapel pin.
Mhm.
You know, it's like I have a whole collection of, I guess they call them campaign pins, and they were for local offices and national offices as well. So I got a whole bunch of those, including Senator Goodell.
I wonder if Roger has one of those. You actually like give him a gift, and then you'll be invited to the combine. You'll have like the VIP treatment, maybe.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any value in that. I mean, in a sense, there is some collectible value because he was a senator. I believe he replaced Robert Kennedy
Okay.
after Kennedy was assassinated when he was running for president. He was, I still believe, the New York senator at that time, and I think Goodell was named. I'm guessing it was Nelson Rockefeller, who was the Republican governor of New York. He ultimately became vice president later on, but I believe that that was the train of events. So he was important from that perspective. And then, of course, with Roger being the NFL commissioner, that's a high visibility position. So to have a political campaign pin for a guy who's NFL commissioner, his father, there might be some collectible value, and I'm not looking to sell it. However, if Roger came to me and said, "We'll allow Walter and Charlie back into the combine," I might give it to him.
I appreciate that. That's nice. Yeah, it makes up for the douchebag comment.
Yeah.
It's a good Charles good. What if he has like 1,000 of those just randomly? Like instead of the M&Ms, he would have.
Well, I hope he doesn't, because there goes any collectible value if he's got 1,000 of those things.
That's true. That's true. There goes the market value of that one.
Yeah.
All right. I figure we would start with the NFC West, because that is where the reigning champion is from. Unless you have any
they're all four are interesting divisions, because you've got the NFC West, which was arguably not the best balance, but they probably had more wins, more non-division wins than any of the other 7 divisions.
Mm-hmm.
You have the AFC West, which going into last year was considered to be the best of the and most balanced of the 8 divisions.
Yeah.
You have the NFC East, where you had the defending Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia, and we didn't know. Well, the Giants were expected to be improved. Washington, we thought, might regress, but would still have a good season until Daniel went down, as far as the quarterback situation goes. And you had who am I leaving out? Dallas.
The Cowboys, what they traded
Dallas. Yeah. Okay. Before the season, and then if you've got the AFC East. That's that division was considered to be a runaway for Buffalo, although New England was expected to show improvement. I think there was optimism for the Jets with Aaron Glenn coming in, and Miami, I thought, got some possible positives with Tua, and the Dolphins weren't pathetic last year, and I think they had made the playoffs either the year or 2 years before. So yeah, I would say, well, okay. See, now from a team standpoint, we should save the best for last, the AFC West and the NFC West. However, if you want to do the NFC East and the AFC East last, that's fine.
I already put Arizona on the screen here, so we can.
Okay, then let's do that.
Okay, all right. Well,
all right.
Arizona, their numbers are over 4.5 minus 110, so under 4.5 also minus 110.
Okay, so Cardinals are 4.5 minus 110, minus 110.
Yep.
All right, let's see their schedule.
All right, they play obviously their own division, which is, as you said, probably the toughest in football. How do you think they do in their own division?
I will say, because it's the NFL, 1-5.
Okay. All right. 1-5 says 1 win. They also play the NFC East, so they get the Eagles and Redskins at home, and they play at the Cowboys and at the Giants.
Well, we don't know who the quarterback is going to be. It's not going to be Jacoby, I would think, but you don't know.
Who knows? I don't know.
Hey, it could be Malik Willis, although I doubt it, but it could be.
Yeah, it sounds like Miami. It sounds like, and we'll get to Miami. It sounds like Miami. They have
the inside track. Yeah. It's hard to see a team being this bad 2 years in a row. Yeah. So whereas my initial thought was 1-3, I will go 2-2.
I think it's fair. Anytime the Eagles play the Cardinals, something bad happens. Just from knowing the
And they've
history.
also had Dallas's number a few times.
Oh yeah, they do. All right, yeah, I'm good with 2-2. So that brings us to 3 wins.
Now, what'd you say? They are
4.5.
Where do they? No, where do they play? Dallas and Washington.
Home against Washington, home against the Eagles, and then at Giants, at Cowboys.
Okay, well, I would say they would lose to the Eagles at home, and they would have a chance of beating Dallas at home. No, Washington, I think you said at home.
Yeah.
And then I think that they could take either or both of the road games. What do we say? At Dallas and at the Giants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they could beat the Eagles at home too. Like I said, something always bad always happens when the Eagles play the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Like,
again, we don't know what time of the season they'll be playing.
Yeah,
and what Philadelphia's attitude. But we don't know when any of these matchups are going to occur.
Right. The other division they play is the AFC West. So they play the Raiders and Broncos at home, and they play the Chargers and Chiefs on the road.
I'll go 1-3.
I thought the same.
So because I think to say 3-5 in those 4 division meetings is reasonable. So 3-5 would now be what, 4-10.
4-10. So they need just one more to go over. Their 3 special games are home against the Jets, home against the Lions, and at the Saints.
Wow. I could almost say 4.5 because I can't see them beating at the Saints and I can't see them beating Detroit.
Yeah.
I could see them beating the Jets, but I wouldn't say for sure. But if I had to, because they're so bad and the bar is set so low, kind of like the Saints last year,
yeah,
I'll give them that 5th win. So it would be a lean to the over.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Nothing great here. I was hoping for like a nice under. Where are the wins? We only get to 2 wins, but it's definitely manageable, especially the NFC East. Thanks, Dom, for joining us as always. I really appreciate it. All right, so Cardinals, we lean over, but
lean over 4.5 at -110. It's not a bet yet, and I don't know if it would become a bet. Even after the draft, we'd have to probably wait till the summer before we went on the over here to the under, depending upon, let's see what the quarterback situation is. Because I read something today about the general manager saying that he'd been talking with the quarterback Kyler Murray, and they asked Kyler Murray, no, we haven't been in touch. So he hadn't contacted me, something like that. So,
well, Kyler's playing video games, so he can't be bothered right now.
I mean, my how comfortable do you feel with Jacoby Brissett as their starting quarterback?
I like him better than Kyler.
Yeah. What was Brissett's record when he was the starter?
Well, I think it was they finished with 3 wins, and so
it was probably 1 or 0 in whatever he played because he was not the starter early in the season.
When Murray got hurt, they were 2-3. They just lost to Tennessee. They won the first 2 games, and they lost the next 3. And Murray got hurt when the ball hit him in the head, he dived for the ball. That's when he got hurt. And then Brissett came in after that, and he just played.
Did he start the rest of the way? So
yeah.
Okay, so what do you say? They were 2-3, and they ended up 3-14.
Yeah.
So he was 1-11.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, my question is,
the stats weren't bad. Like the defense was awful.
No. That's exactly where my next question is.
Yeah.
Of the 11 losses, how many of them were due to the defense, and how many can't be blamed because the offense, without defensive touchdowns, put up 21 or 24 points or more?
Let's take a look. I forget who they beat too. So,
they beat I think the Panthers and the Saints.
And they beat the Cowboys, of course. They beat the Cowboys,
yeah,
right?
Cowboys,
right.
In Dallas, by the way.
In Dallas on Monday Night Football, yeah.
Yep.
So the games that Brissett started, he lost 31-27 to the Colts. He had a good game, definitely not his fault. They lost 27-23 to the Packers, another good game. Then 27-17 to beat the Cowboys. Against the Seahawks, 44-22, which not as close. That was a
No,
blowout.
but about 44 points given up, you're not going to win too many games in the NFL.
Yeah. Next week, 41-22 against the Niners. I believe that was the game where he set the all-time completion record in that game.
So it was a good game. Again, you give up 41 points. Now, again, unless there are pick sixes in that game, 41 points is a bad defensive effort.
Yeah. Next game, Jacksonville lost 27-24 in overtime.
Okay, that's a toss-up.
Yeah. They lost at Tampa 20-17. So he had a really bad game in that one.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Against the Rams, they lost 45-17. At Houston,
that was a bad game, as I remember.
Yeah. At Houston, they lost 40-20. You wouldn't expect him to play well against Houston.
No, but I don't know what how many. I mean, did he have any pick sixes in the game? Or was it the defense responsible for the 40?
Yeah, I think Stroud had a really good game there.
Or turnovers inside the opponent's 25.
Right. Atlanta, they lose 26-19.
Okay.
And then Cincinnati, they lose 37-14. And then the finale, they lose 37-20. That was a really close game for a while.
Yeah, so I would say that Brissett, his play was significantly better than his 1-11 record. Might have been 5-7.
Yeah, they allowed how many times they allowed 30 or more points? They allowed 4, 5, 6, 7. They allowed 30 or more points 7 times in his
How many more than 40?
4. 4 more than 40 and 6 more than 6 at least with 37 plus. 6 with 37 plus.
And
that's
another
crazy.
one,
That's
and,
crazy.
and another one more than 30.
Yes.
But less than 37.
Yeah. That's crazy to allow 6 games
so,
with 37 plus. That's insane.
Yeah, so let's say they could have been 5-7 in his 11 games. So that would have been 7-10 with the 2 and 3 with Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I could certainly make a case. Yeah, not ready to bet it, but I could certainly make a case for the over 4.5.
Yeah. Like you said, depends. They only have one tackle on the roster right now. With Paris Johnson. No one else. There's no other tackles on the contract right now. So they have to figure that out too.
Yeah.
So, but they do have the 3rd pick, so that could be a tackle. Okay. The next team is
what's the field of tackles look like?
It's pretty.
I think it's left. What do they need? A left or a right?
Well, Paris Johnson's a left tackle, so they need a right tackle. There's Francis Mauigoa, Spencer Fano, Caden Proctor. Proctor's more of a right tackle.
Okay.
So there's some good tackles, I think, in this class. Like this class isn't great, but there's some good tackles.
All right. So I would certainly say if I had a bet now, I would bet the over 4.5, but it would be like when I do my the thing I send out every year, to newsletter subscribers and the such, where I give over and unders for all 32 teams. I usually finish it up between the 3rd preseason game and the Monday preceding the start of the season.
Okay.
And I usually go recommendations. Yeah, let's say Labor Day. Okay. Recommendations, full recommendations, strong opinions, and then weak opinions or leans.
Yeah.
So I would say right now, I could see over 4.5 as being a weak opinion or a lean.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I could ever get it up to a recommendation, but I could certainly consider it a strong opinion at some point.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, like I said, I mean, it depends what they do.
When we know more about the quarterback situation and what they do in free agency and the draft to help the defense and the offensive line.
Yeah. We'll see what they do. That defense is so bad last year. All right.
If they pick up a journeyman backup for Brissett, and they do a little bit on the offensive line, and they do a considerable amount on the defense overall, I could see it being a strong opinion as opposed to a weak opinion or a recommendation.
Yeah, for sure. All right, the Rams. Their number is 10.5. The VIG is shaded toward the over. It's minus 145, and the under is plus 120. So
Okay, so let's take a look at their schedule. Obviously, we've got their division games. I'm going to give them 2 wins against Arizona, and I will go 2-2. San Francisco, Seattle. That's more of a conservative because I still think they're the best team in the division on balance overall. So I could go 5-1, but I'll go 4-2.
4-2. It's noteworthy that the Rams the Rams Niners game is going to be in Australia.
Yeah.
And that will be, what's that going to replace? The Rams home game. So they lose the home game there. So okay, yeah. So 4-2, I agree with that. They play.
By the way, Roger Goodell, if you're listening, please do not have divisional matchups being played internationally. Do not take away a home game and a game involving 2 division rivals because that could be significant, both not so much in terms of even the division, but certainly as far as wild cards go. In fact, I would argue that you make all international games interconference games.
Yeah, or no international games. That would be nice.
Well, international games are here to stay, and there are only going to be more of them. They say if you're going to have it, have them be attractive matchups. Okay, so maybe you could have a rematch between Denver and the Patriots or something. Oh no, sorry, you could, because that'd be you got a matchup between Denver and Seattle. Let's say if they were going to play. Okay, but the point is, you will take the least significant or impactful game that you could have: division, conference, interconference. Division games obviously are the most important. Conference games are second in importance because they determine tiebreakers. Okay, interconference games could also determine tiebreakers, but they're further down the list.
Yeah.
So,
So
Roger, if you're counting about your 750th campaign button for your dad, consider that change for scheduling international games.
There you go. We can bribe him with that button and see if he'll change his mind. Okay, so make football American again. By the way,
hey, he may have such a vendetta against you. He might say, Walter, thanks for the suggestion. From now on, all international games are going to be all divisional games.
I know he would do that. Just to spite me. He would. Roger, we're throwing this shirt for you too. In addition to that button.
By the way, did you notice that they were using regular numbers for a lot of the Super Bowls? They were originally all Roman numerals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then when it came down to Super Bowl 50, they went to Super Bowl 50 instead of L for loss.
Yeah, I heard they didn't want to have because L, people go L for loss. I feel like.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that was ever a reason, but that was the first thought that came to my mind.
I don't know. I really did.
The aesthetics of it.
Yeah, not call Super Bowl 50 L. Let's see. Okay, so the NFL did not call Super Bowl 50 Super Bowl L because the single letter L was considered aesthetically unappealing, difficult to market, and strongly associated with the word loser.
Forget out the. Okay, read that again, but leave out the first 2 reasons. Read that again.
Okay. Leave out the first 2 reasons.
Yeah, because leave out reasons 1 and 2.
Okay, the NFL did not call Super Bowl 50 Super Bowl L because the single letter L was considered strongly associated with the word loser.
There you go. There's the answer. Forget the first 2 reasons.
I know. And I think it was Goodell. It was like, I don't want to be called the loser. They called me a douchebag already. I don't want to be called a loser.
Yeah. He'd be a double L because Goodell is spelled with 2 L's.
Right. I should think.
Maybe that's the way they'll do Super Bowl 100. Instead of Super Bowl C, they'll do Super Bowl LL.
For Goodell, yeah.
For Roger Goodell the fourth.
Roger Goodell the fourth already.
His great grandson will be commissioner.
I think Goodell's gonna live forever, honestly.
Well, maybe it's only the Roger Goodell the third because we're only talking 40 years, and commissioners can serve for 15 to 20 years, and that would cover 3.
Here's this shirt's not gonna help my my standing with Goodell. Dump Roger Goodell. He's sitting in the toilet.
Oh, gee.
I don't know if he knows about this, but we'll be banned from everything.
What you should do is send him a polite letter asking to be reinstated. And then he turns you down. Okay, Roger. Since I realize I'm up against someone who's not going to change, here I have a little gift for you. And you send them, and maybe I'll even give you the Senator Goodell button to put on the shirt.
It does a bonus. Actually, we sent you guys. I have a free Gruden T-shirt. We actually sent it to John Gruden, and he said he wore it. he showed it.
Did he ever get back to you on that, or?
Yeah, he showed us a picture of him wearing it.
No, but did he ever contact you about it?
He contacted Charlie because he knew Charlie. He knew Charlie already from Charlie used to cover the Buccaneers when he used to write for the Pewter Report.
Okay.
So he already knew Charlie. He had his contact info. So he sent Charlie the picture. So it's funny.
By the way, in those days when Tampa Bay was really horrible, did they spell pewter Pewter or Puter with a hyphen?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that site was around back then, but maybe they could have marketed it that way.
Yeah.
I still think they had the most losses in a decade ever. I don't know if that's still true, but they used to. But
I don't know. Were the Jets not playing a few seasons?
I guess not. I don't know. Yeah, maybe the Jets will set it this decade. We'll see. Anyway, let's get to the Rams. And so you said 4 wins.
Yeah, I've got them. I said they'll sweep. Yeah, I'm going to say they'll sweep Arizona, and they'll split with San Francisco and Seattle, even if one of those games is overseas. I still think that on balance they are the best team in that division.
Yeah,
considering both sides of the football.
Yeah, I think so. So we have the NFC East. We have the Cowboys and Giants at home, and we have the Eagles and Redskins on the road.
Okay, say that again. Now we have Seattle and Cowboys at home.
No, Cowboys and Giants.
Cowboys and Giants at home, and Philly and
Redskins on the road.
And Washington on the road. I'm going to be conservative and go 2-2.
Oh, really? Okay.
I could see Washington beating them. I would think Philadelphia could beat them again, and either the Giants or Dallas could beat them. So I could say I could easily I can't see him going 1-3.
No.
So I'm going to be conservative and say 2-2.
All right, that takes us to 6 wins. We go to the AFC West.
So that's 6 and 10. No, 6 and 8.
No, he's 6 and 4. Right?
Yeah, no, you're right. 6 and 4. We're 10. The next 4 will get us to 14. That's right.
Yeah. All right, so AFC West, we have at home against the Chiefs and Chargers, which is basically a neutral site game there, and then at Denver at the Raiders.
Well, Denver's always a tough place to play. But,
unless you're the Jaguars and you come in and dominate.
Unless you're the Jaguars, right? Yeah. Well, that's the exception that proves how tough it is to play because they're the only ones who are going to win there. But
yes. The Giants.
You know what? What did I say for? What did I say for the NFC East? I said 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
I'll combine those two divisions, the NFC East and the AFC West, and say 5-3.
Okay. All right. So that puts us at 9 wins.
That would be 5-3, and 4-2 would be 9-5. Yes.
9-5. All right. And there are 3 special games. This is tough. At home against the Bills, although they're home. At home against the Bills, at home against the Packers, and then at Tampa.
I will say at least 2-1.
I would have said 2-1. Yeah, I think they'll win one of the 2, Bills, Packers, and then at Tampa they'll win.
Yeah, you don't know what Buffalo's going to be with Joe Brady calling the shots.
Yeah. Right.
And we don't know what the defense is going to look like. Although, health had a lot to do with it last year.
It can't be worse run defense wise.
Yeah. Yeah, so that gets us, what do we say, 2-1?
Yeah,
so that would get us at 11-6. Yeah. So again, it's a very light lean over because the VIG is -145.
Right. Yeah, it's tough to bet that. when your margins are so close.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we can say that as a very, very slight lean.
Yeah, I mean, I would think the thing that would make it a play and get us up to 12 would be if we think they can split with either Seattle or San Francisco and sweep the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
And I don't know that we could get there.
Yeah, we'll see. What these teams do in the offseason, of course. Like, if Trent Williams leaves the 49ers, then obviously they would have a much better chance of sweeping that series. Okay. We have so we have Seattle. Seattle's numbers are about the same as the Rams. They're over 10.5 as well, -140 instead of -145. So the Rams are slight favorites there.
And what's the plus on the under?
+115.
Okay.
All right. So let's go through their schedule. And of course, they play their division. So is that also 4-2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we realistically have to say 4-2 for the Rams, Seahawks, and 49ers.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Although we did say 1-5 for Arizona, but we don't know where that one will be.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. So they play the NFC East. They have the Cowboys and Giants at home, and they have the Eagles and Redskins on the road.
I'd say 3-1.
Okay.
I think they sweep the Giants and is it Washington? You said at home.
No,
Cowboys.
Dallas and Giants at home. Dallas and Giants.
I think they sweep those two, and I think they split between Washington and was it Philly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's 7 wins.
Okay. What did we say? 5-1.
Yeah. 4-2.
4-2.
3-1.
4-2. 7-3. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we go to the AFC West. They have the Chiefs and Chargers at sorry. They have the Chiefs and Chiefs and Chargers at home, and they have the Raiders and Broncos on the road.
Chiefs and Chargers at home.
Mm-hmm.
Raiders and Broncos. I'm tempted to say 3-1, but I'll go 2-2.
Okay. So it goes to 9 wins. So we need 2 in the 3 special games. And the special games are they play against the Patriots and Bears at home, and they're at Carolina again.
I'm definitely at 2. I'm almost thinking about 3.
Okay.
But I'll go
a revenge game for the Patriots.
Yeah. I'm going to give them the win at Carolina.
Yeah.
And then it's a question, can they sweep the Bears and the Patriots? I think they'll win one of those 2 and lose one.
Yeah. And that Bears and Seahawks is almost the NFC Championship if Caleb Williams didn't throw that interception.
Yeah.
Okay, so you say 2 wins there, so it takes us to 11. Same thing as the Rams. And we have a very slight lean again.
Yeah, lean over.
Yep. Okay, and the final team from this division is San Francisco 49ers, and they're also 10.5. However, the biggest flipped here. The over is plus 125, and the under is minus 150.
Okay. I could almost tell you right now I like the over.
Okay. All right.
Mainly because they're not going to be as injured as they were last year, one would think, on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, one would think.
But let's go by the schedule.
Okay, the division. So we go 4-2 and again.
4-2, yep.
All right, the NFC East. They play the Eagles and Redskins at home, and they're at the Giants and at the Cowboys.
Well, they get the Eagles at home in a big revenge game because that's who knocked them out of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean Philadelphia's going to win. I would say, tempted to say 3-1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the 7 wins, 7-3 again.
Yeah, because I may be a little more conservative in the AFC West.
Okay. The AFC West, we have the Broncos and Raiders at home, and we have the Chargers and Chiefs on the road.
I would say 2-2.
2-2. Okay. So that goes to 9-5.
Because the only one I definitely see, and here we go again with the 9-5, because I had them for both the others. Because the only one I can definitely see as being a win is the Raiders, but I think they can beat one of the other three teams.
Yeah, and so
Denver, Kansas City, or the Chargers.
Yeah, and so the special games they have to again 2 of these to go over.
Yeah.
They play at home against the Dolphins and the Vikings, and they're at Atlanta. Their play schedule there.
I could see him winning all three.
Okay, I think they lose to one of Minnesota or Atlanta.
I don't know how good Minnesota's going to be. They get them at home. They get Miami at home.
Yeah,
and I don't know how good Atlanta's going to be.
Minnesota's the big mystery team because they're aggressively trying to trade for a quarterback, and we don't know what they're going to get.
Yeah. Well, Atlanta's also a bit of a mystery because we don't know exactly Penix and what they're going to do. Although apparently it's certain that they're going to release Cousins, but that doesn't mean they can't re-sign him.
Right.
Although I do think Cousins, I think we've talked about it before, great fit in Minnesota.
Yeah, for sure. Could be, yeah. That quarterback matchup could flip there. So, I would say 2-1 personally. I don't know how you feel.
That's okay because even if it's 11-5 at plus 125 for the over, it's worth playing.
Yeah.
This one is worth playing now.
Yeah, we'll see. Although the rumors of Trent Williams maybe being cut, that would keep me off of it right now. I want to see that resolved because that would be a huge loss. Like that's just insurmountable. There's no one to replace him there.
They do in the draft or free agency in case that's it. Now, when are they supposed to know about Trent Williams?
I would assume before free agency. I don't know. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, at some point before the draft, hopefully. I don't know.
How old is he?
He's 38, I think.
And how was his play last year when he wasn't injured?
Pretty good. I mean, he's really good. Once again,
if I'm San Francisco, I keep him.
Oh yeah, I would too. I don't.
Especially if they bring in some young draft choices to replace him ultimately.
Yeah, I think they need to do that. And this tackle class is pretty good. So you can find someone on day 2 to maybe replace him down the road. That's what I would do. So, all right. So we like the overs on all 4 teams in this division.
Yeah.
But like not by.
But they're all leans except for San Francisco, which to me, even though you have reservations, I still am as an over because 11-6. What were they? 12-5 this year?
Yeah.
With all the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Kittle and Trent Williams, and the defensive guys.
And Kittle's gonna be out for the first 4 or 5 weeks.
First part of the season, yeah. Well, that's what we think. We don't know how everybody heals differently.
That's true.
Because remember, when did he get injured? In the which game was it? Was it? Yeah, which one was it? The Philadelphia game?
Yeah, it's the Eagles game. Yeah.
Which was the divisional round, right?
It's the wild card round. The divisional round they lost to Seattle.
It was a wild card round because they played Seattle. Okay, so the wild card round was, let's say, January 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So that's 8 months until the start of the regular season.
Yeah. It's like it's a 9-month injury. So yeah, he has a chance. He has a chance. Yeah.
If it's 8 months until they start and it's a 9-month injury, 9 months could be anywhere 7 to 11.
Right.
Yeah.
And he is an older player. It's worth noting too. So I don't know how that'll affect it. Okay. Well, let's go to the other Western Division. So the first team is Denver. Their over/under is 9.5 and -110 both ways.
Okay, hold on a second here. Let me get it. Broncos 9.5. -110.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So the Broncos, obviously the division, Chiefs, Chargers, and Raiders. I don't know how you feel about that. 3-3.
Yeah.
3-3. Okay.
I was thinking 4-2, but we don't know the Raiders situation.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, they're going to be better than they were last year. It can't be worse.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking. Well, let's see. In other words, would they be 4-2 by sweeping the Raiders? I think they split with Kansas City and the Chargers.
Yeah, maybe. I think. Oh, it depends what the Chargers do. I think there's a chance the Chargers sweep that series.
Well, I was going to ask you: is it more likely that the Chargers sweep Kansas City, that the Chargers sweep Denver, or Denver sweeps the Chargers?
I would say Chargers sweeping Denver.
Is it more likely that Kansas City sweeps Denver, or Denver sweeps Kansas City?
It's so hard to answer because of Mahomes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say I guess Denver, right? Because we don't know if Mahomes is even going to play to start the year.
We don't know when, and we don't know when they're going to play. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like what if Denver, Kansas City's week 1? So
yeah. So that's why I'm trying to be conservative. So that's why I'm going 2-2. And then the question is with the Raiders, I can't see them being swept by the Raiders.
No.
Not with that defense going against a rookie quarterback.
No, definitely not. No.
And we don't know what the offensive line is going to look like. I still think Max Crosby is going to be back, but that's still an uncertainty.
Right. Yeah. We don't know.
So I will go. I'll go 3-3.
Okay. All right. Well, they play the AFC East, so they have the Bills and Dolphins at home, and they have the Jets and Patriots on the road.
I'll say 3-1.
Okay, so that takes us
6
to
and
6
4
wins. Yeah.
Right.
They have the NFC West, which is Rams and Seahawks at home. That's pretty tough, and then at the Cardinals, at the Niners.
I'll say 2-2.
Okay, so that's
I think they beat Arizona, and then one of the Rams, Seahawks, or Niners. Who do they have at home?
At home, they have the Rams and the Seahawks.
Okay, and they have on the road the Cardinals
and the Niners.
And the Niners. Yeah, who are we talking about now? We're talking about Denver, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Seahawks and Rams at home, you said?
Yep.
Okay, you got the elevation. Seahawks and Rams. What did I say? 2-2?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-2.
Okay, so that's is that 8 wins? Yeah, that's 8 wins.
8 and 6.
So they need 2 of these. They play at Carolina, at Pittsburgh, and then home against Jacksonville again. Jacksonville's going to come in and dominate once more.
I'll say 2-1.
2-1. Okay, so they're going to win the 2 road games. So that's 10. So you like the over then?
And we said, and that's -110 each way.
Yeah.
Well, they won what, 9 last year. They won 14 this year.
Mm-hmm.
We like Peyton. We like the defense.
I don't like the defense as much. You know how I feel.
Yeah, I know, but it's still a strength.
Yeah.
The Raiders are on the. We think they're on the improve, but they got a long way to improve. I think Kansas City continues to be on a decline.
Yeah.
Because of the age and Mahomes, we don't know. And I think the Chargers are probably going to have a better record this year, or 26 than they had in 25, because they had a really good record in 2025, and they played with the missing tackle for, the starting tackle for all year, and the second tackle for 14, 13 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the Broncos with that schedule can. What do we say? We say we're going to get them to 10 wins.
10 wins. I think I'd lean toward 9 wins. Thinking about it, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not really sold on them. You know that.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna put it down as a lean to the over.
Okay. I would lean on there. I think that's like our first disagreement.
Yeah. No, it's
not a big one,
because we haven't gotten to Kansas City yet, and I'm not quite
true.
sure where we both are on that. So I'll put Broncos as a lean.
Well, the Kansas City number is high. It's over 10.5 minus 105, under 10.5 minus 115, which seems crazy to
Okay,
me.
I'm sorry,
given that
10.5, and it's what minus what to the over,
the over is minus 105.
and that's minus what 115.
Yeah, to the under.
Okay. All right, let's go through their schedule.
All right. Well, we have the division again.
I'll go 4-2.
4-2. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's 4 wins. They play the AFC East. They get the Patriots and Jets at home, and they get the Bills and Dolphins on the road.
I'll go 2-2.
2-2. That's six wins. And then they
Now,
play.
I'm sorry, because I still think the Bills will be a good team that could beat them, and I think that New England can beat them. New England's what, on the road?
That's at home. New England's at home.
Who's it? New England and Buffalo?
New England and the Jets are at home.
New England and Jets at home. Okay.
Yeah, Bills, Dolphins on the road. So.
Yeah, I'll still say what I say, 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
And I said 4-2 for the division.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say
64.
2-2 because I could see them beating Buffalo. And would you say they get the Patriots at home?
Yeah.
I could see the Patriots winning again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And as far as on the road, Buffalo could be a loss.
Yeah, it has been every game in the regular season.
And at Miami, we don't know because we don't know who the quarterback is and all that sort of stuff.
Right. Okay, so 2-2 takes us to 6-4. Then they, of course, they play the NFC West, so they have the Cardinals and Niners at home, and the Rams and Seahawks on the road.
Kansas City. Who do they have at home?
The Cardinals and Niners.
I'll go 2-2.
Okay, so that takes us to 8-6.
Okay.
So we need right 8-6. So we need them to sweep the special games. And the special games are at Atlanta, at Cincinnati, and then home against Indianapolis. That's gonna be tough to sweep Cincinnati, India. Well, we don't know.
Well, we don't know about Cincinnati's defense.
Sure, right.
Atlanta. Well, the thing with Atlanta, and this is where scheduling is important. I think Stefanski's a real good coach.
Mm-hmm.
If Denver plays Atlanta early, they have a real good chance to win. If they play them late, I think they lose.
Yeah.
Because I think Atlanta will be a team that improves as the season goes on. Kansas City, the best I can do is 2-1.
Yeah, so that takes us to 10 wins, which is under.
And what is it? Minus
115.
I'll go with a lean right now.
Yeah.
Especially because we don't know. And even if we did, and I made things, my assessments were based with Mahomes playing, but not necessarily at a superstar level.
Yeah. The boss saying Minnesota won 9 games with JJ playing terribly and improving at the end of the season. If they get Tua/Kyler, they're a 10+ win team. Yeah, we talked about that last week.
I think we liked the Vikings. Didn't we like the Vikings last week?
That was our number 2 play, I think.
Yeah.
The Panthers under 6.5 was our top play. And then Minnesota over 8.5 was our number 2 play.
Yeah, and that was plus 115.
Plus 115, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the boss were on the same wavelength there. Yeah. And then I think Chris has suffered a stroke or something because he says on Friday night, you one day, we big one that you best now, and Friday D. I have no idea what that means, Chris. I hope you're okay. I don't know. There's random words there. I have no idea what that means.
Yeah. Sounds like a boxing match.
Yeah,
you KO'd somebody. We do need a little clarification on that.
Yeah, Chris. If you want,
maybe a lot of clarification.
Yeah, if you jumbled up your, I don't know. I hope you're okay, Chris. All right, so LA Chargers over. It's 10.5 again. Another 10.5. Over is plus 110. Under is minus 130.
Okay, I'm sorry. 10.5 plus 110 minus 130.
Yes. Okay, and we have the Chargers schedule here. The division. How do you think they'll do in the division?
I'll say 4-2.
That's what I would have said. Okay, 4. Their conference division is they have Patriots at home, Jets at home, and then Bills on the road and Dolphins on the road.
Patriots at home. Bills
Jets
at home, you said?
Patriots and Jets.
Patriots and Jets. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And Dolphins and Bills on the road?
Yeah.
I could see 3-1.
Yeah, that's what I always said too. It looks like a 3-1. So we're at 7 wins already.
7-3. Yeah.
Okay, the NFC West, they have the Niners and Cardinals at home, and then they're at the Rams again, neutral site game, and then at Seattle.
I'll say 2-2.
2-2, so we're at 9. So we need 2.
In other words,
wins.
I say they get Arizona at home, correct?
Yeah.
They get Arizona at home, and who else do they get at home?
San Francisco.
Okay, San Francisco.
Yeah, and technically the Rams too. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, well, I see them beating Arizona, and I think they can beat either the 49ers, Seattle, or the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Even though 2 of those are on the road. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 9 wins, and then their special games are at Baltimore, at Tampa, home against Houston.
I can give them 2 wins there.
So can I. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So that takes us to 11. So with the over being plus 115, 110. That looks a little appealing.
11-6 is not unreasonable.
Yeah,
weren't they 11-6 this year with all the injuries, or were they 10-7?
I forget what they were exactly.
I'll tell you right now. I'm gonna go down here, and I don't need to ask you know who. I can go right to the NFL, and let me go back here.
NFL.com/standings. It's always great.
And the what?
I say NFL.com/standings. Okay. Like you'll just know right away.
Chargers were 11-6.
11-6 with all the injuries. It's kind of crazy.
With all the injuries,
yeah. And I saw a rumor that they're really trying to go after Tyler Linderbaum to upgrade center, which would be a huge upgrade for them. If they did that, I would definitely like the over.
Yeah, I'm gonna circle them on that because.
Yeah, I'll write that one down too. It's not like an amazing play right now. But
it's a plus. It's a plus on the over.
Yeah.
And all we're asking them to do is match last season's record and be healthier than they were last season, which is not a stretch to achieve that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
Unless all of a sudden Chernobyl 2 sets up there.
Right. Yeah, we're in agreement. I like the Chargers this year. And depending on what they do with the offensive line, maybe a Super Bowl bet.
I was just checking my Santa Clara St. Mary's game.
Oh, who do you have?
St. Mary's.
How's that doing?
78-59, 2:44 to go, laying 5.5. So.
I think you're.
I'm hoping this one does not make your book.
If it doesn't, well, I'll give you a special shout out for it, even though it's 2026. Okay, so we have the final team in the AFC West, which is the Las Vegas Raiders. The number is 5.5. The over is plus 120. The under is minus 145. So to pay premium to go under in the Raiders, which you would expect. It was interesting to see if we can get them to 5-6 wins.
Yeah, your sound cut out for a little bit after you said we go to the final team, which I know is the Raiders, but I didn't hear anything that you said after that.
Oh, sorry about that. So the Raiders over 5.5 is plus 120, under 5.5 is minus 145, and then
hold on a second. What'd you say? 5.5.
5.5
plus 120.
plus 120 for the over, minus 145 for the under.
Okay.
And then I said I'm curious to see if we can somehow get the 6 wins here for the Raiders, because even a minus 145, it's looks a little juicy. But we'll see.
Oh,
what the
unders.
schedule is,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
course.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So
Well,
the division, it's a tough division.
I'm gonna give them 1 and 5.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. So
Possibility of 2 and 4. Possibility of 2 and 4, only
Yeah.
because we don't know about Kansas City, and the Raiders have had, for the most part, over the last decade, good results against Denver.
hmm
And remember, if they catch Denver in week 1 or 2, they're playing against Sean Payton in week 1 and 2.
that's true. Yeah,
Week 2,
absolutely.
But I'll go 1 and 5, simply because I can't find a second win, even though I think that they can beat. I would say if they are most likely to be swept by a team, I would think it might be the Chargers.
Yep, I agree.
I think I'm almost tempted to say 2 and 4, because I do think they can split with either the Chiefs or the Broncos.
Yeah, especially. I mean, look, their Week 18 game might be against one of the teams that doesn't need a win. So
Yeah.
that could be.
Or they
win.
might be a Week 18 that also doesn't need a win because they're 3-13.
That's true. Okay. So we have the AFC East.
I'll give them 2 and 4, because they were
Really?
playing hard at the end of the year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
2 wins. So against the AFC East, they host the Bills and Dolphins. They're at the Patriots and Jets.
1 and 3.
Okay. So we're at 3 wins now.
We are at 3 and 7. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So
1 and 3 and 2 and 4.
Yep. 3 and 7. All right. So the NFC East, they host the Rams and Seahawks, two really tough home games, and then they're at the Niners, at the Cardinals. That could be 0 and 4 potentially.
Well, certainly it's 0 and 3. It's a question, what can they do against the Cardinals?
Right.
And again, it's another team that might get better as the season progresses. So if they're going against Arizona early, they probably lose. If they go against Arizona late, they have a good chance to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll go 1 and 3.
All right. So that's 4 wins
and 10 losses. Okay.
Okay. So they need to win 2 of these to go over the 5.5. The 3 special games. They are at the Browns, at the Saints, and then home against the Titans.
Best I could see is 2 and 1.
Yeah.
I think they lose to New Orleans. I think they can beat Tennessee. And Cleveland is such a mess.
Yeah. You think Myles Garrett against that offensive line, though?
Yeah. You know what? I'll go 1 and 2 because of the fact that I said they might win a second divisional game, and it's probably less likely. Yeah. I said they might win an extra game in a couple of divisions there that could easily be losses. So let's go 1 and 2 in this one.
1 and 2. So that's 5 wins.
Yeah.
And the under is minus 145. So not great, but maybe you can shop around to get a minus 130 or something.
I'll put under with a lean.
Yeah. Okay.
And again, a lot of times when I do my recommendations, strong opinions and weak opinions, often the differentiation between the groups, let's say between a weak opinion and strong opinion, is the VIG.
Okay.
I don't like laying a significant, I'll say significant is anything greater than minus 130 on either an over or an under because of the injury factor either way.
Yeah, it's not a great feeling at all.
It's like if the Eagles lose Jalen Hurts in August, that's 2 losses that probably would have been wins against your division rivals.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be. Whereas for the Giants, it's 2 wins that with Jalen Hurts probably are 2 losses.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
That's why I tend to not like. I try to be conservative as far as the wins go.
Mm-hmm.
and also as far as the vig goes. So
Right.
yeah, I will mark the Raiders down as a lean, but
Okay.
it is to the under.
Okay. All right. So
And again, remember also, you have a new head coach who's never been a head coach before. You've got major issues on both sides of the football, the offensive line and the defensive. Some of the defensive players are okay, but the secondary has some concerns.
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't feel uncomfortable being pessimistic about the Raiders.
Okay. Yeah, I don't.
I wish I weren't, but I got to be objective.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, let's jump to the NFC East, and we begin with the Cowboys. I bet they're under last year, so that ended up working out.
Okay.
Their total is 8.5. The over is -130. The under is +110.
Okay.
All right, so the division, 2 games against the Eagles, Giants, and Redskins.
Eagles, Giants, and Redskins. I'll say 2-4.
Okay, 2-4.
What were you going to say?
I thought either 2-4 or 3-3. I couldn't figure that one out.
Okay.
Because they usually split with the Eagles. Like the Eagles have a really tough time in Dallas. But the Giants will be better this year. We'll get to them soon. And then Redskins are a big question mark with Daniels' health.
Well, I'm gonna assume Daniels is healthy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. 2-4. The NFC West is one division they'll play. They host the Cardinals and the Niners, and they're at the Rams at the Seahawks. And we know how they do against the Cardinals, of course.
Yeah, but I'm going to give them a win in that one. But I'm going to give the other 3 losses.
Okay, so 1 and 3, so that's 3. That's 3 wins.
7. 3 and 7.
Yep. Okay. They also play the AFC South, so they host the Jaguars and Titans, and they're at the Texans, at the Colts.
I'll go 2 and 2.
So that's 5. So they're automatically under. They cannot
5 and
go
9.
Over. They cannot go over.
And then they play the
3
NFC
special
South.
And the 3 special games. They host Tampa, they host Baltimore, and they're at the Packers.
Well, no, we've got them at 3 and 7, right?
No, we have them at with the AFC.
We didn't do the NFC South. Who do they play?
We did the NFC West. You had them at 1
NFC West. Okay, NFC West and AFC South. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have 5. We have 5 wins, correct? With 2 and 4 plus 1 and 3 plus 2 and 2.
Yeah. So that's what, 5 and 9?
It's 5 and 9. So they automatically can't go over.
Okay.
With the 3 special games, they host Tampa, they host Baltimore, they're at the Packers.
No, that cements they can't go over. Baltimore. Yeah. Okay. They host Baltimore and Tampa Bay. I'll give them 1 win there.
Yeah, and they're at the Packers.
And I'll give them a loss at the Packers. So 1 and 2.
1 and 2. So that's
6 and 11. 6 and 11.
6 and 11. The under is 8.5 plus 110. I think we found our favorite pick.
Yeah. Well, one of them anyway. Yeah.
I don't know if I like this better than the Panthers. It seems like a great pick. I don't know. It's definitely up there on their 8.5 plus 110.
Yeah.
That's seems like I don't know why that number's 8.5. They have no defense at all. And Pickens may not be back. They're talking about trading him potentially.
Oh, I thought they were going to franchise tag him.
A franchise in the trade they would do.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jerry Jones, I don't know why. I don't know why they would franchise and trade him.
Is it? He's
waste a franchise tag.
Well, he's a free agent, so they could franchise and trade him.
Free agent after the coming season.
He's a free agent now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
okay, I thought you did it for the next season, but okay.
Yeah, so that's one way to do it. I guess Jerry Jones doesn't want to pay him. I guess I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know about this team. I think Javonte Williams, I feel like, is due for regression.
Yeah,
I don't like their line too much.
They gave him the big contract.
Yep.
Which didn't seem all that big actually when I thought about it.
Yeah, it's big for a running back these days, but not overall.
Well, it was big for a running back of say 5 years ago, but we've seen how important running backs have become the last few years. Passing plays are down.
Yeah.
And running plays are up.
Yeah. Cyclical.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we love Dallas under. Let's get to the next team, which is the New York Football Giants. 7.5 is the number. Over is plus 110. Under is minus 130.
Okay.
Okay, so they're divisional games. Dallas Eagles, Redskins twice.
I like this team.
Yeah,
I'll go 3-3.
Okay, 3 wins.
Because they could easily split with all three of them because they've been able to beat the Eagles. So
right. Okay, so 3-3. They play the NFC West. So they host the Cardinals, they host the Niners, they're at the Rams, at the Seahawks.
They're good, but not that good. 1-3.
1-3. Yep.
So that's 4 and 6.
4 and 6. They play the AFC South. So they host the Jaguars, they host the Titans, they're at the Texans, and they're at the Colts.
I'll say 2-2.
2-2. Okay, so that's 6 and 8.
Yeah.
So they need 2 wins in their special games to go over. They host the Browns, they host the Saints, and they're at the Lions.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
I guess realistically, well, I think they gave Detroit a good game this year, if I recall, at home.
Yeah, Detroit's.
But Detroit's a whole different. They're a whole. What's that?
Detroit's schedule's so easy. Their schedule's so easy. It's
You're
one of
talking
the
about next year. You're talking about for 26.
2026, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no, I'm
one of the
saying
overs
that
we like.
I'm saying that also Detroit figures to be a better team this year than they were in 26 and 25.
Yeah, I think so too.
I would have to give the Giants 1 win of those 2.
Yeah, so that takes us to 7 wins. So that's an under, even though we like this team.
Where were we at? We were at 6 and 8.
They were at 6 and 8. Yeah, so 7 and 10. The number
Yeah.
that 7.5 total is high.
Yeah.
It almost feels like the Patriots last year. Remember, like they were expected to like make a huge leap.
Yeah.
But the Patriots had an easy schedule. Like the Giants, they don't have an easy schedule. They play the NFC West.
So what we have at 7, so we're having the under.
7 and 10.
I'll just put that as a lean.
Yeah, not in love with this one. That stinks. I was hoping for like a 5.5 to look really, but I guess they've caught on to the Giants like we have. Oh well, I mean, I'm sure that there are going to be better opportunities. We already have some with Dallas and Carolina and Minnesota. All right, so the Eagles, they are 10.5. Their over is plus 105. The under is minus 125.
Okay, I'll go 4 and 2 in the division.
Okay, 4 and 2 in the division.
I could see 5 and 1.
Yeah, well, they always like I said, they always lose to Dallas, and Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't know, they always lose that game for some reason. And they always find a way to lose to either.
Oh yeah, I'll say 4 and 2, and that's probably a comfortable number.
Okay.
Let me put it this way: I think 5 and 1 is more likely than 3 and 3, but I just think they're too good to go 3 and 3. But somewhere in there they could lose another game, so 4 and 2 seems to me reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's the most likely outcome. The NFC West, they host the Rams, they host the Seahawks, they're at the Niners, at the Cardinals.
I'll go 2 and 2.
2 and 2. Okay, so that goes to 6 and 4.
Oh, what do we have on them in the division? What did I say? 4 and 2.
4 and 2. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a little optimistic, but yeah.
Yeah. AFC South, they host the Texans, they host the Colts, they're at the Jaguars, at the Titans.
Got to go 1 and 3.
Really, 1 and 3. Okay.
I think. Well, who did you say they host Tennessee? Right? They get them at home.
They at Tennessee.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think they beat the Jaguars at home, and I don't think they beat the Texans on the road.
No. They host the Texans and Colts. They're at the Jaguars, at the Titans.
Okay. Well, that's the other way around. And I don't think they beat the Texans at home or the Jaguars on the road. Okay. I think they can beat where they play Tennessee on the road.
Yeah.
I think they can win that one. But I don't know. Going possibly against their former quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, because I have them at what did I say 4 and 2 in their division?
Yeah.
Because I'm being overly optimistic, well, somewhat optimistic in that division.
Okay.
I will go with, what did I say? 1-3.
1-3, yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So there we have it 7-5. Is that right? Oh no, sorry. We have 7 wins.
What?
Correct?
Okay, I said 4-2,
4-2.
1-3.
Yeah, that's 5-5, and then 1-3 here. So
6-8.
we have the 6-8, right? Is that
Well,
correct?
4-2,
Yeah.
right? Against the NFC West, 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 4-2, 4-5, 5-5,
Yeah.
and then 1-3 against the
AFC South. So
AFC
6
South.
and 8.
Yeah,
Right, 6
6
and 8.
and
So
8. Yeah.
they're locked into the under already.
Okay.
And the 3 special games are at Chicago, and then they host the Steelers, they host the Panthers.
I have a loss at the Bears. Question is, can they beat both Pittsburgh and Carolina at home?
Yeah. I mean, even if they win all 3 of these games, they're still under by.
It's still under. I'm gonna go with 2 wins.
All right, so you have an 8. We have an 8-9 Eagles.
Okay, you mean the? Oh, I thought we were doing. Were we doing the Giants or the Eagles?
These are the Eagles.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's start over again. 4-2. I thought we were doing the Giants again. Okay, 4-2. Yeah, okay. 4-2 in the division.
All right.
Where do they play the Cardinals?
At Arizona.
Okay.
And then they host the Rams. They host the Seahawks. They're at San Francisco.
I'll go 2-2.
Okay, so 6-4.
Okay.
The AFC South. They host the Texans. They host the Colts. They're at the Jaguars. At the Titans.
I'll go 2-2.
Okay, all right. So they're now 8-6.
Okay.
And so they need to win all 3 of these games to go over. At Chicago, home against the Steelers, home against the Panthers.
I think they can win all 3. It'll be a revenge game against the Bears, as you know all too well.
Yeah, I mean,
from the loss this year.
Evan knows more.
More so. Yeah,
unfortunate loss and the survivor.
Yeah.
So
I'll go
3-0.
3-0. Yeah.
Okay, so it's actually the over. It's 11-6.
Oh, we were at what, 8-6?
Yep.
Okay.
So the over is plus 105. So you like them a little bit.
Let me see here. Hold on. Over at the plus 105. Yeah, I'll circle that.
Okay.
Because I could see them going 5-1 in the division.
Yeah.
More than I can see them. See, I was looking at the Giants, and I said I see them going 3-3 more than 5-1 when we went 4-2. But I could see the Eagles more likely going 5-1 than 3-3.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. I think 4-2 is the most likely scenario. Drew says,
right, but I'm saying 5-1 is more likely than 3-3.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
4-2.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Which is a reason why there's only a half game difference, but it's a plus price on the over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Drew says, OMG, Walt, you're not kidding. I'm having either Amon-Ra or Gibbs. If they fall to me in the first round, might like Laporta as a value pick later. He's talking about the Lions' easy schedule. I would recommend that. Don't forget about Jameson Williams in like round 4 or 5 or so, because he really took off in the second half of the year when Dan Campbell took over as the play caller. And also don't forget about Jared Goff as a quarterback you can take like 10th, 11th round. And if you're in a really deep league, Isaac Tesla as a late round flyer, maybe someone gets injured and then he takes over as the number 2 receiver or something. So yeah. And then Montgomery's late round flyer also, like, he's going like 10th or 11th round. Like he was going like 6th round last year. I thought that was way too early. But 10th round is definitely doable for that. So I would definitely recommend trying to get as many lines as possible because their schedule's so easy.
Yeah. Well, how easy can it be if they got to play Minnesota, Green Bay, and Chicago?
But the rest of their schedule is so easy. Like they
well,
play
it is because they play what, a fourth place schedule.
Yeah, and they play the NFC South as well.
Yeah.
So it's they don't have that many tough opponents outside the division. So I believe they play the AFC East too. Let's take a look at it real fast. I think like the only really tough teams are against the Bills and then their own division. Yeah, so
I think we had the I think we had the
over.
We had the over at -130, and we liked it.
Yeah,
over 10.5.
Despite the vig, yeah. So they play outside the division. They play the NFC South, the AFC East, and then the three special games are Arizona, Tennessee, Giants.
Yeah, and they can go 3-0 in those. They go 3-1 against the AFC East. Well, 2-2 against the AFC East.
Yeah, AFC East and New England's at home.
3-1, 3-1 because I think they can beat either New England or Buffalo, and I think they will beat the Dolphins and the Jets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the NFC South, probably at least 3-1, maybe 4-0, and then the 3-0 in their special games. So what would that be? It would be So what we say in the division? 3-3.
3-3. Yeah.
3-3.
No, I think we had all four teams going 3-3.
Yeah. Okay. So 3-3 plus 3-1, that's 6, plus 3-1 again, that's 9, and then the plus 3-0, that's 12.
12.
That's 12 wins. Yeah, with a 3-3 in the division. So
and they're 10.5 -130 on the over.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got a game and a half edge if we have them going 12-5.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that works out. Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to the Redskins. Their totals are 7.5 -110 both ways. Far cry from
let me write that down.
Yeah.
If I can find them. I'm looking for Redskins in their list as Commanders. What'd you say the over and under, Viggs?
-110 both ways.
Okay.
All right. So they play the NFC East.
I'll say 2-4.
2-4. Okay.
Could be 3-5 because I could see them splitting with the Giants. I can see them splitting with the Cowboys. I can see them splitting with
the Eagles. Yeah.
With the Eagles. Yeah, but I'll go with 2-4.
Okay. NFC West. They are hosting the Rams and Seahawks, and they're at the Cardinals, at the Niners.
I'll say 1-3. So that's 3-7.
3-7. The AFC South, they are hosting the Texans and Colts, and they are at the Titans and at the Jaguars.
I'll go 2-2. That's 5-9.
5-9, and they're three special games, so they have to win all three of these to go over. They host the Bengals, they host the Falcons, and they're at the Vikings.
And I can't get them this way. I could say I would say 1-2.
1-2. Okay, so that's 6, right? 6 and 11.
So what's that, 6 and 11?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would right now I would put that down as just a lean.
Yeah, I think it's kind of silly to say this, but if you told me that Jaden Daniels would be healthy all year, I would like the over.
Yeah, well, that's exactly why we don't know. There's too much uncertainty there.
Yeah.
And when the uncertainty surrounds the quarterback, that's the reason to be more cautious.
Right. You can't trust them at this point. So
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Which other teams have a joke of a schedule like that? I want to get in the train as early as possible. The Ravens have a pretty easy schedule too, from what I can remember. Basically the entire AFC North, they have an easy schedule.
Yeah.
So because they play the NFC South, and they have some other games, they're easy too. So yeah, so it basically the two North divisions, they both play the NFC South. So okay, so we're three divisions down for today, 7 overall down. We have
AFC
one more
East
division
remaining. Yep.
The AFC East is remaining. Yeah. So the Buffalo Bills are they're 10.5. The vig is high for the over. It's -140, and the under is +115.
Okay.
All right. So they're divisional games. Patriots, Dolphins, Jets. Feels like they always lose one of these.
Well, I'm going to say 4-2.
Really, 4-2.
I
I would
could
have
I
said
could see 5 and you want to say 5-1?
I would say 5-1. At 4-2, they went 4-2 last year. 4-2 safe.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think they go 1-1 against New England.
Maybe, yeah. I think it's more likely they sweep the Patriots than the Patriots sweep them. For what it's
I don't
worth.
know. Well, I think the Patriots are still going to be a good team, and they're coming back with
Yeah,
a little more experience.
yeah. That's
Probably
fair.
work a little bit more on giving Drake May a police escort when he snaps the ball. A little bit more security.
It's a little bit more, yeah.
Yeah, I think they split with the Patriots, and I think they go 1-1 with either the Dolphins or Jets and sweep the other team.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so 4 wins.
4-2, yeah.
Their AFC divisional is the AFC West. So they host the Chiefs, they host the Chargers, they're at the Broncos, and they're at the Raiders. We know they would beat the Chiefs always. They always do in the regular season.
Yeah. Where's that at? Buffalo?
Yep.
And who else do they host? Chargers?
The Chargers, yeah. And they're at Broncos, at Raiders. Broncos revenge game for what it's worth.
I will say 2-2.
Okay. I think I would have said 3-1, honestly, but 2-2 is fine. So
who do they play at home again?
Chiefs and Chargers.
Yeah, playing at Denver could be tough.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
And playing at the Raiders is a win.
Yeah. That's
but they could lose to Kansas City. Or I mean, even though they win all the time, but it's a different coach now. And I think the Chargers can go in there and win.
It could, yeah.
I could see them going 1-1 at home,
mm-hmm.
and 1-1 on the road.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. All right, so 6-4,
right?
And their NFC division is the NFC North, so that's kind of tough. They host the Bears and the Lions, and they're at the Packers, at the Vikings.
2-2.
2-2. So we're at 8-6 now,
right?
Which means that they have to sweep to get over. And there are 3 special games. They're all difficult. They host the Ravens. They're at Texans, and they're at the Rams. That's tough.
Yeah, that's tough because I could see them going 1-2 because 2 of them are on the road, and they could lose to all 3 of those teams.
Yep.
And the one team they have at home is Baltimore. They can beat Baltimore because of the new coaching situation there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they usually beat Baltimore anyway. So
yeah, so I'll give them 1 win.
Okay, that's 9. So where'd this go? Why did it disappear on me?
No, okay. Well, that's under 10.5, but I can't. I want to see what the roster looks like.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't really feel comfortable betting the under on Josh Allen. So, and plus, like I some, like we said 4-2 the division. I think it could really be 5-1.
Well, again, I think it's more likely 5-1 than 3-3.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then the AFC West, I think that we said 2-2, but I think it could be 3-1 as well. So that would take it over. So I'm not comfortable betting the under here.
Well, I could say, as much as I thought Kansas City would decline this year, and they did 6-11. I could see them improve next year, but that's largely based on Mahomes being there for 15 games or more, which is we don't know.
We don't know.
And the defense wasn't outstanding last year, but then again, the offense put them in a lot of bad situations.
Yeah, that's true.
They
need a pass rush.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll stick with the under right now. And again, I think the difference between 4-2 and 5-1 depends on how much progress the Jets and Miami make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's we don't know.
Like I said, I have them going 3-1 against the Dolphins and Jets.
Yeah.
And splitting with New England. So if they can, I really don't see them sweeping New England or being swept by New England.
You don't see them sweeping New England, really? I feel like they could.
Well, Vrabel's proven to be a good coach.
Oh yeah, I love Vrabel. But I think if one team were to sweep the other, I think it would be Buffalo.
Yeah, I just can't see. I'm still concerned about their defense.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see what they do
overall, and especially against the run. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why for me it's only a lean. Well, we haven't done the Patriots yet, but it's a lean on the Bills.
Okay. Well, we'll do Miami and then the Patriots. Miami is 4.5, and then -110 both ways. We had
okay.
They were under 8.5 in May last year. I couldn't believe it. Evan and I bet that as soon as we saw that line.
Yeah. I will go 2-4 as the most optimistic result.
Okay. 2 wins in the division. Okay. All right. So 2 wins. They host for the AFC West. They host the Chiefs. They host the Chargers. They're at the Raiders. They're at the Broncos.
1-3.
1-3. Okay. So that's 3-7.
Yeah. Who'd you say they host?
The Chiefs and Chargers.
Okay. So they got to play the Broncos on the road, which is a negative, and at the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I think they have a chance to win.
Yeah, it's probably a pick'em game.
Yeah.
So,
especially if they play in Denver in December.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so they're 3-7.
Right.
And then they have the NFC North, which is home against Chicago, home against Detroit, at Minnesota, at Green Bay.
1-3.
Who's the win against?
Repeat the home and road schedule.
Chicago and Detroit at home, at Minnesota, at Green Bay. Like thinking, like who are they going to beat? They're going to be significant underdogs in every game.
Yeah, I would say Chicago and Detroit, who arguably could be the 2 best teams in the division next year, at home. At Minnesota, going up against their former coach, Brian Flores.
Mm-hmm.
And
at Green Bay.
At Green Bay, I would say maybe Green Bay.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But they're going to be like 10-point underdogs in that game.
Well, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
We don't know when they're going to play.
Well, and also, I mean, maybe that is the most likely win because their coach and GM are both from Green Bay, so maybe they might have some inside info.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 1-3. Yeah. So that
if not inside info, they have a history.
Yeah.
They know the thinking. They know the culture.
Right. So that's 4-10. And then they have to win one of their special games to go over. So they host the Bengals, and then they're at the Colts, at the Niners. It's not easy.
No. I don't know that they could keep pace with the Bengals. But again, I'm assuming that the Bengals do something on defense, unlike they didn't do last year.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows with that?
And Burrow healthy.
Yeah.
At San Francisco, I can't see them winning, but at Indianapolis, I could see them winning. Either way, we're going to be at 5 if we're at anything there. But I wouldn't.
With a win, yeah.
I'll give them 1 win in those games.
Okay, so it takes us to 5-12, which is slightly on the over, but I'm not comfortable with that at all.
Yeah, not enough. No.
Okay. All right.
Well, again, it's another one where we don't know the quarterback.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's Malik Willis, maybe that's worth 2 extra wins.
Yeah. Yeah, they could do a lot. I feel like they have more upside this offseason than the Jets do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we have 2 teams left. We have the Patriots. So that's 9.5. The over is -140, and the under is +115. So interesting that it's almost the same as it was last year.
What, the schedule?
The over
or the win total?
Yeah, the win
okay.
Total. It was what, 8.5 last year?
I think it was 8.5 last year.
Yeah, so now it's 9. It's only 1.
Well, the 8.5 was based upon the schedule and what they could do, and they obviously
of course,
exceeded it. Yeah. This year, the 9.5 is based upon a more difficult schedule, but does not take into account how they crushed last year's expectations.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's a 14-win team, 10 games more than the year before.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So we'll see if there's regression here. So the division, how do you think they'll do in the division?
I'm trying to make a case for 5-1.
Really? Well, we gave the Bills 4-2.
Yeah, but I think the Patriots are a better team than the Bills.
Really? You think so? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have Buffalo.
Bills are old now. Bills are old now. They're Kansas City East.
Maybe. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
So well, the Patriots have the Jets number.
Yeah. Everyone has the Jets number.
And they have the Dolphins number, I think, for the most part.
Yeah. Everyone has the Dolphins number. Except for the Bills. The Bills don't actually. Yeah. The Bills don't really.
Oh, no. The Bills and Patriots, in recent years especially, have been actually more Buffalo. But, and they split last year when the Patriots easily could have been 2-0 if they don't blow that 21-0 lead.
Yeah.
I will have them go... I'm trying to decide. Do I want to make it 5-1? They're going to be a motivated team. They're moving into a new stadium. I'll go 5-1.
Okay. Who's moving to the new stadium?
Bills.
Oh, the Bills. Oh, okay.
Right. Oh, who are we doing now?
The Patriots.
Oh, the Patriots. Okay. I keep losing track here because we're all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm going from one thought to the next. But that's right. We're doing the Patriots. Okay, I'll say the Patriots. No, 5-1. Yeah, because I think they can sweep. I think they'll sweep the Jets and the Dolphins and split with the Bills.
Okay. All right, 5-1.
Whereas I think the Bills can lose a game to either the Jets or the Dolphins.
Okay. All right, 5-1. They with the AFC West, they host the Broncos, they host the Raiders, they're at the Chiefs and at the Chargers.
They host the Broncos, and they host the Raiders.
Mm-hmm. At the Chiefs, at Chargers.
Well, I'm thinking either 2-2 or 3-1.
Okay.
Denver's got the revenge this year.
Yeah.
And they play in New England.
Mm-hmm.
And they could put some defensive pressure on May. And I think the team's learned a lot over New England's 4 playoff games.
Yeah.
How to get to Drake May. I don't know if the Raiders could take advantage of it, but I certainly think the other 3 teams can.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go 2-2. I think they're going to lose one of those games between Kansas City, Broncos, and the Chargers.
Okay, so that's 7-3. In the NFC North, they host the Vikings, they host the Packers, they're at the Bears, at the Lions.
I'll go 2-2.
Okay.
Because they get the 2 toughest teams at home, Chicago and Detroit. So they could easily lose.
Detroit on the road.
On the road. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So those are 2 losable games on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2 games at home against Minnesota and Green Bay.
Yeah.
I could see them splitting at home and on the road.
Okay, so 2-2. So that takes us to 9-5. And
Okay.
so they only need to win one special game to go over. And their special games are not that easy. Well, they've won easier one. They have they host the Steelers, but then they're at the Jaguars or at the Seahawks.
I'll give them the win over the Steelers.
Yeah, that's so that takes us to 10. And that's a slight lean on the over, but the over VIG is -140. So
only a lean.
Yeah, so you have to shop around. I always say this: shop around, see if you can get -125 or something.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at that as their ceiling.
Yeah,
maybe one more win they could get.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, we don't know because again, they are one of the more unusual teams in NFL history,
Hmm.
to the extent that they were 4-13. You get a new coach and a promising quarterback entering a second year. They did a lot of reshuffling of the roster. I think they had, if not the most, amongst the greatest roster turnover from the previous season of any of the teams in the league.
Yeah.
So they go from 4-13 to 14-3, and they already were expected to double or slightly more than double their win total from last year by being at 8.5. So they were either expected to go to 8 or 9.
Hmm.
So they already showed a remarkable ability to increase. Now, there's been an old theory that if a team wins more games in a season than they won combined in the previous 2 seasons, you expect regression in that third season.
Yeah.
Actually be the 4th season. So they were 4-13, 4-13, and 14-3. So they blew out the combined total of the last 2 seasons by going 4, and they exceeded that by 6.
Hmm.
4 plus 4 plus 6 equals the 14 that they had. So that classic handicapping theory would tend to be very, very strong on going against the Patriots this year to regress.
Yeah.
However, that theory applied a couple of years ago. Let me get it out here. To the Detroit Lions.
Right. Yeah.
When the Lions went from 3-13-1 to 9-8. Okay, so they won 12 games total. And then in 2023, they went 14-6, which means that they were 12-5 in the regular season.
Hmm.
Okay, so they equaled double what they had. So they would have been expected to regress a little bit. Although actually, I think it applied in the 9-8 season, because let me see what they did in 2020. 2020, I think, was a bad year because the 3-13-1, I think, was Campbell's first year. So 2020. Okay, yeah, in 2020 against your favorite Matt Patricia, they were 5-4, 5-6, 5-8, 5-11. That was the last of the 16-game schedule. So when they had 5 wins in 2020, 3 wins in 2022. So 5 plus 3 is 8.
Hmm.
In 2022, in 2020 they had 3 wins in 5 wins. In 2021 they had 3 wins, so they had 8 wins. Excuse me. So they won more games in 2022 than they won with those 8 games in 20 and 21. They went 9-8.
Hmm.
So that would have called for a regression the following year.
Yeah.
And the following year was when they went 12-5.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the following year, 2024, they ended up going 15-2.
Right.
So who's to say that the Patriots can't do what the Lions did just 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's a case by case basis. You have
Yeah.
to, you can't do that stuff blindly. You have to evaluate the teams, and if you did an evaluation on the Lions, you'd be like, yeah, this is a really talented team. They're coached well. You wouldn't expect them to regress, and I feel the same way about the Patriots. Like they have a good defense. They're really well coached. Drake May is really talented. They are missing in some regards. They need another receiver. They definitely need offensive linemen, but overall, they're a really good team.
All of that can be taken care of in free agency and the draft. We don't know yet.
Right.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
So which is one of the hazards of doing this exercise this early.
Sure.
Because there are a lot more unknowns than even a week and a half from now when all the free agent signings start taking place.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So I would still say I would still prefer. It's funny because if you let's say, and it was an easy schedule, but let's say the Patriots didn't win 14 games. Let's say they won 8 or 9 games this year, like their projection.
Mm-hmm.
That still would have shown significant progress from last year.
Yeah.
So now they're at 9.5, and they won 14 this year. it's a tougher schedule, but who's to say they won't be better in 2026 than they were in 2025, even given the change on the schedule?
Exactly. Yeah, I expect them to improve. So
Yeah.
we're in agreement there.
So they will be improved. Will they win 14 games? Probably not, because of the difficulty of schedule increase. But can they win 10, 11, or 12? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have to believe that Buffalo. It's hard to see Buffalo being a stronger team, certainly by any significant amount, and it's hard to see Miami and the Jets having done much to close the gap.
Right.
Which is why I have the Patriots going 5-1 in the division.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So a lot of people I've seen on Twitter and stuff, they're like, "Oh, Patriots under easy." I'm like, I don't agree. I mean, they're like, there's a lot of positives.
It's plus 115 on the under.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, I can understand that. So you'd have, but the reason why it can only be a lean is because of the VIG. Now, it's kind of like some of these other teams we talked about last week. Let's see what happens if things go well for the Patriots and that 9.5 total goes up to 10. To 10. Now all of a sudden you're getting plus 120 on the over.
Right.
And they have to go 11-6, which is still 3 games worse than they had this past year when they won the Super Bowl.
Right.
Exactly. So, well, they runner up at the Super Bowl, made the Super Bowl.
Right. Yep. Okay, so last team, the New York Jets.
How appropriately that we are talking about last, and that means this is the 32nd of the 32 teams.
That's right. The Jets, their number is 5.5. The over is plus 105. The under is minus 125.
Okay.
All right.
What's the quarterback situation?
I have no idea what they're gonna do. I don't know. Who I mean,
are they going to release Justin Fields, or is that not definite yet?
I heard they're probably going to do it. I don't know. Maybe they resign him. I doubt, given the
what did they have, a 1 year? Did they have a 1 year contract last year?
I think it was a 2 years. Signed a 2 year contract, but after the comments Woody Johnson made, I can't imagine that he would return to the team.
Woody's a buffoon.
Yeah, he is. So it's Tyrod Taylor's still there, I guess. Brady, maybe they start Brady Cook, go 0-17 and take Arch Manning. Maybe that's the goal. I don't know.
Arch Manning will be injured in the combine next year. I don't want it to happen, but that's the Jets' luck.
Exactly right. So they could go after Kirk Cousins. I don't think they're going to get Malik Willis. Maybe Derek Carr comes back. They try to get him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if Carr goes back to New Orleans.
With Shuck there, he's not going to start though.
He might be a mentor.
Yeah, I guess.
Is Derek Carr good enough to start after a season out?
I mean, when you have teams like the Jets with nothing a quarterback, I would imagine he starts somewhere.
If he wants to play in the cold, yeah.
And maybe the Cardinals. Maybe he goes to the Cardinals. I don't know.
Cardinals wouldn't be a bad fit.
Yeah. Okay, so we don't know the Jets quarterback situation. I can't imagine it being that good.
I can't go 0-6 in the division, so by default I have to go 1-5.
Yeah, even the Jets might have a chance.
Maybe they beat Miami.
Maybe, yeah. So, all right, 1-5. The AFC West. They host the Broncos and Raiders. They're at the Chiefs.
Best they can be is 1-3.
1-3. So we're 2-8.
You say they host the Raiders?
Yes.
Okay, 2-8.
2-8. All right. The NFC North. They host the Packers. They host the Vikings. They're at the Bears, at the Lions.
0-4.
0-4. Yeah. So
I think those 4 teams are just too. I mean, the defense, which was supposed to be a strength this year, was a weakness, and they still got rid of their 2 best defensive players.
Well, wait a second. Aaron Glenn said that play calling is a superpower. Did you hear this quote from him?
No.
He said, 2 days ago, I think he said defensive play calling is my superpower.
Well, apparently he's got a whole bunch of kryptonite on the sideline.
Yeah, right. Woody Johnson's
which, by the way, what color is kryptonite?
Green.
Green.
Yeah. Right. So with this 0-4, we have them.
They're now 2-12.
2-12, and they can't go over.
No, who do they play in the
special games?
Game?
The special games are okay. So they host the Browns, and then they're at the Cardinals, at the Titans. So actually, they do get some easy games.
Actually, they could win all three.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, maybe.
But they're the
not.
Jets.
Yeah,
we already have them staying under the 5.5 at 2-12.
Yeah. So what's this? 2-1, maybe 1-2.
Well, once again, as
with 2 road games.
Well, remember Arizona was a 3-win team. What was Cleveland? A 3-win team? 3 or 4?
I think they had 4 or 5 because they're picking 6th, so they weren't 3 and 14. So I think they were 4.
Okay, let me see here because I had the standings up the last time I opened this up. Okay, overall, let me get that overall.
Say they're 4 and
easy
13.
Okay, Tennessee had 3 wins. Arizona had 3 wins.
Yeah.
Cleveland had 5 wins.
5 wins. Okay. All right.
All right. So let's, for the benefit of the doubt. Well, see, the funny thing is, the toughest of the 3 is the one game they host.
Right.
Okay. So I could see them losing that game, but I could see them winning either at Arizona or Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So but that still only gives it 3 wins.
So you think this is 1-2 or 2-1? You think it's 1-2?
Well, with Cleveland's quarterback situation, Myles Garrett may have to play 75 snaps a game.
Yeah, seriously.
So I'll give him 2-1.
2-1. So it's 4 and 13, which means the under hits by a game and a half, -125. So I like this a lot too.
On the under?
Yeah. Even though it's -125. And again, you might be able to get a -115 somewhere, -120.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, let me go back and just take a look here. Jets were what, 3 and 14 this year?
Mm-hmm.
And they made a coaching change. Well, they didn't make a coaching change this year. They made a coaching change last year.
Yeah.
Okay, the Jets. Well, see, the weird thing about the Jets is in 2020. Let me get the glass out here. In 2020, the Jets, were they horrible? What did they lose their first 14 games? 13 games. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
0 and 13, and then they won 2 games, and then they lost. So they were 2 and.
Yeah, because remember that was the year they had a chance to get Trevor Lawrence, and it looked like they were going to do so, and then they beat the Rams randomly as huge underdogs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the time my friend won like a $20,000 wager because he had. He collected $20,000 because he had. I think it was. I forget who the bad team was, either Cincinnati or Pittsburgh, on the money line the same week that the Jets were on the money line, a huge price. Jets were +17 at the Rams, and Pittsburgh was minus. So Cincinnati at home was +14.5, and Cincinnati +14.5 won 27-17.
Yeah,
huge money line payout. Okay, so they go from 2 wins to 4 wins, but then in 22 and 23 they win 7 and 5, 7 wins and 7 wins. In 2024 they win 5, and then they drop to 3.
Yeah.
So is this team good enough? Well, we don't know the quarterback situation.
Right, that's the only thing holding us back.
And what did I hear? Some rumors that we don't know what's happening with Breece Hall.
Yeah, he might be moved. I mean, he's a free agent, so he might be franchised, or the Cardinals are apparently really interested in him. But we'll see what happens.
Look, if the Jets had their choice, they'd franchise Saquon Barkley.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, doesn't play for them. But
right.
I mean, right now it's really hard to make a case for the Jets. I mean, there's so much uncertainty with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And as it is, there's a lot of uncertainty with a lot of these teams because, who knows what the things are going to look like. I'm sure that if we did this exercise a year ago at this time and we didn't know a lot of things about what was going to happen during free agency, we probably would have had pretty much the teams that did well in 2023 again do well in 2024 and vice versa.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean,
with the exceptions of the teams that may have been hard hit by injuries in 2023.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, in
2024.
It'll be interesting to do this exercise later in the offseason after the free agency in the draft, and
after the schedule comes out.
Yeah, after the schedule, right? Yeah. That'll
which will be like around mid-May.
Right. So that'll be fun to do that again. Yeah. So we I think our top 5 plays on wrote this down. Panthers under 6.5. I actually should just post it. Panthers under 6.5. Cowboys under 8.5. Jets under 5.5. Vikings over 8.5, and Buccaneers under 8.5. And I'm gonna put the Lions over 10.5 here as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put this in the chat.
I had the Eagles over 10.5. I circled that one. I had the Ravens over 10.5.
Yeah.
Even though that's a minus 145, so that would be a weight on that one.
Yeah. So
I had the Jaguars over 9.5.
Yeah, that was the next one. I didn't put that in the copy paste here, but
and the Colts under I circled.
Yeah. Colts
Bay,
wrote down. Chargers over 10.5. Raiders under 5.5. Titans under 6.5. I starred the Colts under 8.5 because the quarterback situation. Yeah, and Buccaneers under 8.5, which I posted there too.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah. So those are the top 6 right now. I think the only ones I'd really bet right now. Hold on, Andy's disconnected. Andy's come back any second there. So
the microphone generally is easy to get back online. It's the camera that there's a little bit of a delay, and sometimes when the camera goes off, the microphone stays on for some reason.
Yeah. I think the only one I bet right now is Panthers under 6.5. I feel like we know what that team's going to be.
Yeah.
And everything else, I think I'd consider Lions over 10.5 right now. I don't really see that situation changing either.
Well, I think the Jags is another one to consider.
Yeah, that's true. You could do Cowboys under 8.5 now too. I don't see that changing that much. But Jets, we don't know the quarterback situation. Vikings, we certainly don't know what they're going to do with quarterback. Yeah. Buccaneers, I think you could bet now, and then Lions.
I think didn't we have the Saints over also?
I didn't write that one down.
7.5. Yeah, that's 7.5. Yeah.
Okay,
I circled it from last week.
Okay. I didn't write that one down for some reason, but yeah. So yeah, I like this card, especially the Panthers, the top few. Hopefully these are all winners. But like I said, it'll be better to do this later after the schedule's out and everything else happens. So, all right, we're at 3 hours. I think we can sign off. What do you think? My dog is under my desk.
How's your daughter doing?
She hasn't cried or anything. Thanks for asking.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about doing an editorial on dinner.
Oh, she's always with dinner. She's always hit or miss. Like sometimes she'll want to eat.
No. I mean, has she kept dinner down?
Oh yeah. She hasn't woken up yet. She didn't wake up last night. I was worried last night. That's when we didn't do a show last night. I was worried that because she threw up twice. I thought
that's where I was headed on that.
Yeah. I was like,
I wanted to be delicate.
Well, I was
as delicate as I can be, which is not that delicate, but that's okay.
Yeah. So I was afraid she'd throw up in bed last night. Andy's got
there we go.
Okay, yeah. So I was afraid she'd throw up last night, but she didn't. So she slept through the night and
pay the no.
Yeah, the no paid out. And then she's been asleep. Knock on wood. She's been asleep all night tonight too. So I just think it was a 24-hour bug. That
could have been, or something bad in the food. Was it
maybe
a home cooked meal or was it a pre-processed meal?
But it was it happened. It started Tuesday morning, so it was Monday. I don't even forget what we had Monday. I forget, but we had but no one else got sick though. That's the thing. We all ate the same food. we all ate the same food. Because Monday we were snowed in when no one left at all. Usually Monday we go to Chick-fil-A usually. But we had like 15 inches of snow, so that wasn't happening.
Was that how much you got? Okay.
We got about 15 inches, yeah. I know Evan bet the over 12, and Andy can stay on. There we go. Evan bet the over 12 and over 15 inches. Actually, I know you wanted that. So
For you or for
Evan,
him?
Evan bet the over 12 and over 15 inches in New York.
No, what I'm saying. Oh, in New York. Okay.
In New York,
He,
yeah.
oh, he laddered it.
He laddered it, yeah.
Okay.
I laddered the under, unfortunately, so I lost money on that. Because I don't.
And
You
what
know, I
did
don't
what
trust
did
Lord.
what did New York get?
More
20?
than 15, more than 15, but less than 24. That was how high the ladder went to 24.
Okay, because let me see. Well, my brother and sister-in-law are they're in their house up in the Berkshires in Western Massachusetts.
Yeah.
They only got 8 inches. I said to my sister,
okay.
that must have been great for Ira, my brother-in-law, to go skiing. He said, yeah, he's already been up there. He's already done 2 ski runs. But they only had 8 inches. Eastern Long Island, I heard, got about 26 to 30.
Okay.
My sister, who lived in Central Long Island, my niece rather, I think she said they got about 2 feet, but maybe a little short of that.
Wow.
And then my friends in Phoenixville, not too far from you, said they got about 8.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. So it was not great. But the snow wasn't like last time. It was like really icy snow. This time it was pretty soft, so it was pretty easy to dig out this time. It wasn't.
Yeah,
easy
I heard they had that this morning as well, right? You had snow this morning. That was pretty easy to dig out.
Yeah, we had a little bit of snow, and by the time I woke up, it was all gone. So.
No. What time do you wake up? 2 p.m.
No, I woke up like 11 a.m.
Oh, what time do you go to sleep? I thought you go to sleep like around 6.
Yeah, 6 or 6:30. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So you don't get your. I was gonna say you don't get your 8 hours.
No, not at all. I don't think I could sleep 8 hours when I'm
if you're
in
not
Vegas.
used to it, you're probably right. At least initially, if you unless you just try to do it. But yeah, when you're in Vegas.
When I'm in Vegas, I don't have kids here in there, so I don't have to wake.
No
up.
Interruptions.
Right, and even then, I try to get 8, and I can only get like 6. So I don't know. But
that's what your body's used to.
Yeah. I can't sleep more than that. I just get like, I just feel like I have to check things. To check my phone, see how the stock market's doing. It's like this whole thing, and then like, wait, I have to write up stuff for the site, and I kind of get like.
I have a nice cue when I'm checking the stock market on my phone and it's down. I just turn the phone around.
Well, down is good because you could buy puts.
Well, it depends. It depends what part of your portfolio you're looking at. Yes,
that's true. I don't really carry anything outside of I only have 2 stocks that I own right now.
Okay. So you really have only 2 positions then.
Yeah.
Stocks. You could have multiple positions in options and in puts and calls and things.
Yeah. I generally don't hold things overnight. I'll day trade, but.
Oh, is that what you trade?
Day trader? What I usually do is.
Are you registered as a day trader?
No. But it's easy to do on the app. So, what I usually do is I look for a stock that's up on the day but dips, and then I'll buy it, and then I will set up a 5% stop loss. And then if sometimes the stop loss hits, which sucks, but usually the stock bounces back, and I'll just take a profit. And then
I've always been one for a number of years because we know it's all algorithm based, and we all know that the market is stacked against the individual investor for the most part, unless they use the same strategies.
Yeah.
If the market opens low, you buy on the comeback that it'll close higher, and then you do the reverse. If the market's down early, or the market's up early, you bet against it and expect the market to go down.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what the percentages are, but I know it works an awful lot of the time that way. Except when you have little rallies like we had a couple of weeks ago. I forget the sector. I don't know if it was technology or one of the sectors where it went up like 3-4 days in a row.
Yeah. But you can what is really good to do also, which is it's really hard to lose in this situation, is to buy puts on leveraged ETFs because those decay over time, and if you can especially find a leveraged ETF on an underlying stock that is a POS company, then you can make a lot of money on just doing that. Like Oracle, for example. Their leveraged ETF was $100 about I would say like 9 months ago, and now it's $9.
Okay.
So if you bought puts on that, you made out like a bandit. It's crazy.
Puts at 100.
Yeah, buy puts at $100.
Yeah.
Sell them at $9, and it'll probably keep going down too. Oracle's a terrible company. They cook the books and stuff. They're almost like Enron. So
so we'll be reading about that in a few months.
Yeah, their earnings call was such BS. They accounted for that. They did the same thing Enron did. They took their they're like, oh, we made this much money, but they were actually like looking at money they're gonna make in the future. I'm like,
oh,
like what? How can you get?
In other words, they accounted accounts receivable as income.
Right? Yeah.
In a sense.
You can't do that. Yeah. I was like, what are future earnings reports? Are you going to count more in the future? Like,
yeah,
I don't know, it's ridiculous.
They played the if game.
Yeah, exactly.
As if it were fact as opposed to opinion.
Right. Yeah. It's just you can't.
Which is what ifs are. Ifs are probably not even opinions.
Mm-hmm.
They're hopes.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, any leverages you have, because they decay in price, because if they go up, that's fine. Like you won't suffer, but if they go down, they'll go down worse than what they would do than the underlying stock would do. So like they're guaranteed to decay over time. It depends on how quickly that decay comes based on how the underlying stock does. So that's you can almost buy puts on any leverage ETF and do well, but you'll do really well if that underlying stock goes down in price.
So you should be waking up at about 9:15.
I don't like to trade in the first hour. There's so much volatility. I like to, 10:30 comes around, see what happens in the market.
Yeah.
I'll see stocks that are going up and then dip, and then I'll try to buy. Usually the stocks I buy are the leveraged ETFs on the bear ETFs on like quantum stocks.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that, like Rigetti Computing.
Yeah, they had that new quantum stock listed the other day. QNC. Yeah, QNC.
QNC.
Canadian stock.
Okay.
And the day before, the stock shot up by it was like selling at like 350 and it shot up to like 450.
Yeah.
And then on opening day, it went down to like 370.
Yeah, those tend to be pretty volatile because if they run, they run, but then they crash. Like Rigetti Computing was about $50 a share 6 months ago, and now it's 17, I think.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like
didn't DraftKings do the same thing when it first came out?
Yeah, when DraftKings was a SPAC, and it was I believe, usually SPACs are $10. But DraftKings, they de-SPACed around when COVID hit, and so their stock was like $6 a share, or $7 a share.
Yeah.
And then they de-SPACed, and they skyrocketed it to like 60 or so.
Right.
And then they went down. They went back up to like 40. Now they're down again.
In the 20s, right?
They have to compete with the with like Kalshi and Polymarket and stuff like that. But DraftKings also does fantasy and casino, which those don't do. So I don't know. But their earnings are bad. They're expected to hit revenue of $7 billion. They hit revenue.
Well, that's because you're taking advantage of all the bonuses they offer.
I know. Single-handedly bring down the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have to stop doing this. I hope they don't. But I don't know. They really haven't
take advantage
done that,
of it while you can, because it won't be there forever.
I know. Well, hopefully there'll be something new. So
someone will come in and take its place. There'll be some other algorithm or some other technique developed.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll find it. So, all right. I guess that's it for tonight. Anything else before we head out? Do you want to promote the logical approach?
No, nothing yet to promote. As we get closer to March Madness, I'll probably have something up there.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. I don't know if we're going to be on tomorrow night because the combine starts tomorrow. So I don't really know how the schedule is going to work out. We'll see. I'll let you guys know on Twitter. But please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com for tons of content. And visit thelogicalapproach.com. Andy, great to complete the win totals with you. Our first draft. I think we have some good bets, and hopefully we'll find some later once the schedule is released and everything.
Yeah, this will always be improving. Once we get to the schedule, that's when we'll have an idea because we'll be taking a look at things between now and then and evaluating the impact of the free agent signings. Of course, these lines will be volatile as well. They'll move a little bit. I don't know how frequently, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a major, like a quarterback signing, if we see either a half game adjustment or certainly a big adjustment. You know, plus one way, minus another way, depending upon if it's a free agent or a trade involved.
Yeah. So a lot's going to change. So we'll see. But all right, guys. Hope you have a great night, and I will talk to you maybe tomorrow. We'll see.